Hope you was paying attention. Welcome, everybody, back to my Homestuck Epilogues read-through. My name is Brodemus. On the last Let's Read Homestuck Epilogues, we got through fucking Meat 17. We're still... I didn't get more water. I'm a fucking dummerson. I messaged my brother. It's just out of the blue. I thought I was gonna send him something that I thought was funny. Hello, Chixie. How are you doing on this Saturday? I'm fucking hyped up. Not because I'm hyped for the epilogues. No. I had coffee for the first time in like 3 months. So I'm off the balls, man. I had to prepare for this shit. I was like, I should get drunk before I read the epilogues. I'm not drunk. Mostly because there's no alcohol in the house anymore. But I have coffee in my system, and I'm very wired now. Sarax, hello, from the Minecraft live stream. I saw something about that on Twitter about the caverns and caves or whatever the fuck it was called. I have no idea what that's about. It's exciting. It's very exciting. I don't know why it's exciting, but it's very exciting. I can appreciate that Mojang and Microsoft are still working so hard to make Minecraft the game it is and changing things constantly. Cause I love Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Despite its checkered past, shall we say. Drunk apple. Wouldn't it, Sarax? Wouldn't it? There's no alcohol in the house though. I do have one person to thank over the last week. I'm pretty sure Dew on the Grass. I think I got you last week. I don't remember. It says 7 days ago. So if I didn't, thank you for following. And same with Mushy Draws. I love that name, Mushy Draws. Never mind. I still like the name. Don't get me wrong, but that sounds like mushy underwear, which isn't pleasant. Whew. I'm gonna have to have a snack break about halfway through this bitch because my metabolism is going to burn through the little bit of food that is in me right now. I am very excited. Yeah. Man, so before we get started, Minecraft Steve in Smash Brothers, how about that? Fucking wild. That was... here's the thing. Okay, so I tried talking to my wife about this. I think Steve is perfect for Smash Brothers. Not necessarily because of his play style or anything like that, but just because of the pure fact that Minecraft is such a wildly popular and iconic game that I feel like it fits to have a character from Minecraft in Smash Brothers. But I see all these people complaining about like, oh, well, where's Sora? Where's Master Chief? Where's Dante from Devil May Cry? And I'm like, I could see Sora happening. I could see Sora being a viable candidate to be a part of it. They've already worked with Square Enix to include Cloud, and they have worked with other Japanese companies, as in Atlas, with having Joker and Persona be involved with it. So it's like I could definitely see Sora being a part of it, but there is the hurdle of Disney when it comes to letting anyone else have something Disney owned. And since Disney is a part of the creation and development of Kingdom Hearts, that's a huge obstacle to get by. And then, I don't know what the fuck people think about Master Chief getting in. The only thing that I can think is, okay, well, Microsoft owns 343 Studios. Does 343 still own Halo? Do they still develop Halo? I don't remember. But either way, they own Halo. They also own Rare, which is how Banjo-Kazooie got in, and they own Mojang, so they got Minecraft. So I guess the logic there is that Master Chief is a viable option in that they have already worked twice with Microsoft to get characters into Smash Brothers. I just don't feel like Master Chief is a good fit for Smash. It's very not thematically similar, but I guess on a similar point to that is like, okay, well, neither is Snake, neither is whatever. I can't think of right now. I can't fucking think. The Snake is the biggest one that comes to mind. Like, doesn't really fit the theme of Smash Brothers. I guess neither does Cloud or Bayonetta. So I guess it is viable. I don't know how viable Dante is though, just based on the fact that Dante's already involved in the Capcom universe. Because I think, wasn't Dante in the newest Marvel vs. Capcom? Which at that point, then you have Disney getting involved also with that because they own Marvel. Though that might be a subsidiary type situation. I actually don't know the full details on that. But I think like Sora and maybe Master Chief, but I don't know. Shrek would be fucking incredible. Hey, Zolsa. We've been talking Smash Brothers for about 5 minutes. Anyway, we're in the epilogues. We're on Meet 18 out of 44? Yeah, 44. So let's get into this shit, shall we? I've rambled on long enough about Smash Brothers. So let's get to it. Epilogue 4, Meet 18. You wake up.
What?
You open your eyes. Actually, you're not sure they're open. Everything is intolerably bright, like it was inside the juju, but worse. Did you go blind? Are you dead? Is your ghost dead? You spend a couple seconds filing through miserable worst-case scenarios, but then you see it. Your own blood, floating around you in a nimbus of shiny, taut bubbles. You reach out to touch one, and it bursts around your finger. You finally process the true magnitude of what has happened. Furthest, the ring has been completely destroyed, and you're all alone. Everything hits you all at once. The light, your memories of the battle, the untethered sensation of weightlessness. It's a hammer stroke that hits you in the center of the head. It splits like rivers through your gray matter. That pain and disorientation goes all the way down your throat. You double over and, well, you're vomited up everything in your stomach. Rest assured, it's pretty gross, and I don't think anyone needs an explicit account of the way you're disgorging your entire gut in zero gravity, or the way it's coating your entire torso in puke from your long blue hood to your silly yellow slip-ons. But seriously, are you seriously need to get it together? You look like absolute shit right now, my man. In fact, you really should strongly consider issuing an apology for the mess you're making. What is going on? Is my connection really shitty? It keeps saying like, oh, welcome to the chat room. Welcome to the chat room. Fuck off.
I'm sorry.
Who are you talking to, dude? Nobody's around for miles. Everyone's dead. Well, almost everyone. But certainly the vast majority of what qualifies as everyone in your current frame of reference. Every single person and every single thing, nearly literally, has been sucked into that monstrous black hole up there, including every single fragment of black empty space that used to provide the canvas for this bleak continuum. And most of your friends, Rose, Dave, Absurd Cat Dave, and hundreds of ghosts who all valiantly contributed to a victory which you're only now beginning to question the functional necessity of.
Functional necessity? That doesn't sound like something I would think.
That's because it's not.
What the fuck?
You finally notice. No, not me. You go back to ignoring the fact that I'm the voice in your head. You noticed how it hurts when you breathe. Suddenly you remember. Lord English's tooth is still embedded in your chest. You panic, wrap your hands around the base, and give it a little tug. It's excruciating. The tooth makes an awful grating sound as it grinds along one of your ribs. You gasp and lose your grip, biting the inside of your mouth so hard that you taste blood. Can't blame you for trying, but I wouldn't do that if I were you. Without someone to administer proper medical care, you'll bleed to death pretty much instantly. On the other hand, the tooth is poison, so you're pretty much fucked either way, and that's really all there is to say on the matter.
Sigh.
You sigh in painful resignation, and wonder what to do next. English is dead, so you suppose you can go home, right? It's tempting. You consider zapping back to Earthsea, being done with this nightmare for good, and never breathing a word of it to anyone ever again. But you can't yet, can you? Why not, you wonder? What's the harm? You're right. It would probably be a harmless decision in the grand scheme of things. Certainly the easiest thing to do. But what about your friends? You saw Rose and Dave die with your own eyes. You saw countless ghosts getting swallowed whole by a voracious singularity. How about Jade, though? She could still be out there somewhere, injured, alone, scared. And it's your fault, isn't it?
It's all my fault.
You decide that no matter how terrible you feel, you should look around first before you leave. You were the one who dragged her here. You are at least that much. Plus, there's someone else on your mind, isn't there? You proceed to wander for a long fucking time. Time passes differently here than it does for everyone else. Here, I'll simulate it for you. I just left to go take a piss. Then I microwaved myself a hot pocket. Then I came back, and the time it took me to do that, you just spent hours drifting around the entire circumference of the black hole, thinking sad sack thoughts about the years of inaction that led you to this point, intermittently humming the Ghostbusters theme to yourself. You get so worked up about one of your GB freestyles that you almost miss it. There, 11 o'clock. You see it? It's a tiny dot floating over there.
Huh?
You scramble to catch it before it drifts any closer to the event horizon. Got it! What the hell? It feels familiar, but you want to make sure you're not imagining it. A wallet. Your dad's wallet. You chew your lip and press your fingers into the soft leather. Space is an infinitely large expanse, and a wallet is a tiny, insignificant object. Sure, there have been crazier coincidences in the course of this wacky adventure you've been having for the past 10 years, but this one feels very precisely aimed at your heart. You take a deep breath, unfold the wallet, and open it. Hey, Pantheos. The cost is just... yeah, welcome to the epilogues. Hey, Pen, how you doing? Glad y'all can make it. Hope y'all having an okay, or having a good Saturday. Not this okay bullshit. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. I got D&D tonight. I'm gonna torment my fucking players. It's gonna be great. Anyway, back to the B-plot. Right about now, Jade should be wrapping up her political presentation to Roxy and Calliope, using a lot more grass and far fewer words than Dave did when roping her into the election. Her approach is definitely more heady, but it's also more acceptable. Or accessible, not acceptable. Jade's got this disarming combo of head in the clouds, flightiness, and the kind of legit down-to-earth cred that can only be earned by having done something like cutting open your own grandfather and stuffing him full of polyurethane foam.
So, you see Jane's neoliberal austerity measures.
Roxy groans upon hearing the phrase neoliberal austerity measures for no less than the third time in this presentation.
As I outline here in graph B2, and here in figure A6, and here in this very spooky drawing I dictated to Callie. Great drawing, by the way. Will no doubt lead to a whole bunch of ugly societal backlashes. Not just in economic terms, but on a number of other more serious vertices that we've been lucky enough to avoid on New Earth so far.
You don't say.
I do say. The thing is that Jane is an establishment leader. She's looking at doing things the way our old universes did them. She's pretty convinced that she's going to be able to replicate the capitalist hierarchies that Earth had, but in a more responsible way. But none of that stuff actually worked.
And you think Karka can do better?
I think it's worth it to give him a chance. He's a leader of the people, and he's experienced firsthand what happens when establishment goes too far, which I imagine you can sympathize with.
Jade takes a deep breath, panting a little. Her graphs are floating around the living room in disarray. She spins around her, gliding her hands through the air like a conductor before folding the page together and shrinking them to pocket size. This is the first Jade Roxy Calliope, I think, Pen.
And that's my pitch.
Roxy and Calliope exchange a look. I'm going to get us tea and snacks. Would you like some, Jade?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Any preferences?
Pumpkin matcha if you have it.
Of course. I'll be right back. Calliope excuses herself from the conversation and flees to the kitchen, seemingly making no attempt to disguise the fact that she's in fact fleeing. Jade deflates as she watches her go, sensing that her presentation wasn't the slam dunk she was hoping for.
So, what do you think?
Well, I gotta say, this has been a hella convincing argument all in all, but I don't know if I can help you out.
What? Why not?
Roxy presses her lips together, then bounces her palms on her knees. Her gaze slides east, right out the window. She and Calliope live in a belfry above New Prospect. One end of their living room is an oriel window that looks out over a public park. The other disappears into an arcading hallway lit at the far end by a giant stained glass window that Calliope made herself. The corbels support into windy abstract shapes carved into them. This room reminds Jade of her childhood home, except that it's bright and warm and not inhabited in all corners by corpses and ghosts. That's why she can't settle down. That's what keeps Jade Harley flitting from couch to couch, relationship to relationship. She can't stop thinking to herself that home comes awful close to rhyming with alone. Home is John, who doesn't call anymore. Home is when Rose and Kanaya welcome her in from a cold night and help her set lyrics to her sick bass lines. Home is here, snorting at Roxy's irreverent method of storytelling and admiring Callie's art. Home is David Karkat, especially David Karkat. Jade knows that this election is important for a number of reasons, but let's not mistake her enthusiasm for some kind of humanistic altruism. The girl's got personal reasons for doing all this. Jade drifts down to sit cross-legged on the couch beside Roxy. She stares at her with a doggish expression, eyes wide, head low into the side, until she gets an answer. I just don't really care about politics that much, I guess. Roxy turns to face Jade again, smiling apologetically. Also, this election is all kinds of personal. I mean, if I came into your house and asked you to make some grand political whatever against your BFF, would you be all, oh yeah, totes sign me the fuck up? I'm always about the sowing of discord among my childhood friends.
Sigh. Let me guess. Dirk got to you first.
Not even. I got no problem telling Dirk where to stick it, LMAO. But Dirk's not the one running.
You think he's not the one pulling the strings behind the scenes?
Sure, but give Janie a little credit. She's got more moxie and ambition in her pinky than the rest of us got all together. She's been planning this for years, but she's,
ruthless.
Roxy frowns. Jade is being pretty unfair. Fragile. She gotta be Miss Perfect all the time for the billboards and press meetings. Always wearing those power suits trying to look like a big bad bitch.
You mean like the Condess?
Wow. Ouch.
I'm not just imagining it though, right? You see it too. Not to dredge up something horrible from your history, but her whole image is just kind of woof.
Is that what you guys think? You and Dave and Karkat?
Well, yeah.
Roxy leans forward and stares Jade down like she's searching for something behind Jade's eyes. Jade unwittingly responds in kind, looking for meaning behind Roxy's gaze, but she comes up empty. And to be honest, so do I. That void aspect. In the spirit of full disclosure, Roxy's the only one left I haven't been able to crack. Her mind remains a total enigma to me, just like it always has. If I had to guess, it's her void powers that make her invisible, even to increasingly omniscient parties such as myself. For all intents and purposes, it's like her thoughts don't exist. She's the same person as far as I can tell. She still wears her heart on her sleeve, but the bottom line remains. Roxy Lalonde is still utterly fucking inscrutable. Well, Jane's not perfect. Roxy shrugs and runs a hand through her hair, which has been recently cut shorter than usual. And I don't know if she'll be a good president, but she's not Betty Crocker. And I love her, and I don't want to hurt her feelings. That's pretty much all there is to say on the matter. Man, fucking chat is just bugging the fuck out for some reason. Knock it off! Work properly! What was I fucking saying? Calliope returns from the kitchen with 3 cups, a handmade teapot, and some candied cakes. Jade finally relents.
Fine, I understand. Callie, what about you?
Calliope sets down the snacks and brushes Jade's skirt aside so she can sit down. She puts a cloud in her mouth and makes a facial expression more complicated than you'd think a skull would be capable of. Oh, I'd rather stay uninvolved, thank you. I feel like interfering in both politics and personal argument between my friends would be impolite as well as kind of stressful, to be honest.
Yeah, sorry, Callie, I probably shouldn't have put all that on you.
That's apologizing, more snacking. Calliope claps her hands together. It's a bright noise. Her tone of voice is bright, too. All these years, and she still can't believe that she has so many friends. She smiles at Jade, and Jade smiles back. The tea tastes great. The cakes are even better. Callie's an artist in everything she does.
Wow, Callie, you're such an amazing hostess. Roxy, you're so lucky to have her.
Roxy giggles, awkwardly. She gives Jade a gentle jostle, an elbow to the ribs, and lowers her voice.
Psst, not her, them. Oh.
Jade tenses up and pales, turns a wide-eyed look to Calliope, who is still smiling politely. She realizes a bit too late the profoundly insensitive nature of her social misstep.
Oh!
She grabs one of Calliope's hands.
Oh, wow, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, be culturally insensitive. Have I just been stupidly calling you a girl for years like a big fat dummy? Oh, no, I'm such an asshole.
You are absolutely not an asshole. I didn't mind being called a girl. I still don't really mind. It's just not exactly accurate. But I did take comfort in being a girl for a very long time. This is something I've only recently decided. Yeah. Roxy pauses, even though the lilt of her voice makes the sentence sound unfinished. She stutters the next part out. Me too, actually.
You?
Oh yeah, we are both a they household now. Package deal thing. Things are non-binary as fuck around here. Wait, what?
Really?
Yep. Well, I mean, that's probably a dumb and bad way to say it. Don't tell anyone I said it that way or how it felt. But yeah, that's about what's going on. Roxy, seriously? Like I said, fucking inscrutable. I never would have guessed, not that I've spent much time contemplating issues related to gender. I'm pretty secure in my expression of masculinity, and you know what? Fuck this. I don't want an explanation of any sort on this topic. I'm confident with who I am, what I am, my gender, as well as my understanding of the concept. You want my honest opinion? It's fucking fantastic. Good for them, both of them, I mean. But also both of them in a singular fashion, since each one can now individually be referred to by the conventionally plural word, them. I'm ecstatic for this personal development they've embraced, for the people they are, the lack of gender they identify with, and the pronouns they prefer. I've got no problem with it whatsoever, and frankly, it's fucking insulting, and would ever imagine otherwise. So yeah, I'm gonna allow it. Carry on.
Well, that felt good to say hello, man. Hell of a way to come out. It's okay. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I know. But I am curious if you need to talk about it, I mean.
Maybe. Kelly and I have been talking about it a lot. Unpacking all kinds of baggage with the alien stuff and my human stuff. And so I got to thinking, what even is gender? Am I right, LOL?
Oh yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Jade looks at where her hands are folded in her lap, bites her lip. She has her own concerns about this, her own thoughts. Reasonable thoughts, I'd say, but I'll refrain from any further comment. I'm staying away from the subject from now on.
So you're, not doing gender anymore?
Yeah, I guess not, LMFAO. I mean, I always love stuff from our old universe. Why do we even bring it here, right?
Right.
Calliope takes the tea cake between two of her claws and eats it. So, Dirk doesn't care. And eats it delicately, hyper-aware of the horrible gnashing and snapping her powerful jaw is capable of. My ideas about shit between two of their claws. There we go. They take a tea cake between two of their claws and eat it delicately. Sorry, my bad. Were entirely influenced by my time watching Earth. I suppose I only thought of myself as a girl because my brother took masculinity quite seriously. By which I mean, he became very enthusiastic about all the things it's supposedly meant to be a boy. Cherub existence is dichotomous, but not in the same way human biology is. I suppose our view of human culture indirectly influenced Altonia's development, which in turn affected yours, which is something I've had a lot of time to think about since we came here. it's also very circuitous and arbitrary.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you think about it, so much of what Earthsea thinks about boys and girls should do comes straight from the imagination of a bunch of dumb teens, which is totally fucked.
Sure.
Jade nods quite thoughtfully. She'd be a doggy's fucking uncle if she wasn't going to come across woke as hell about all this. Truthfully, though, it was making sense to her. Eye-opening, really. Why hadn't anyone told her this was even an option when she was younger? She probably would have loved being a they when she was a teen.
I mean, what am I gonna do? Get married and pop out 100 babies?
No?
Exactly. I mean, once upon a time, I guess I thought about that, but I don't think it's what I really wanted. I just like the idea of me and Dirk making some smart-ass awesome kids together. Because I like the idea of Dirk. And also, literally no one else on the entire planet was alive at the time. But we had some babies without even being consulted about anyway, so whatever.
Your kids are pretty cool.
I know, right?
Personally, I'm a big fan.
And like that, Jade's smiling again. The storm clouds passed so quickly in her world, you almost wouldn't have thought there was anything wrong at all. Roxy and Calliope certainly didn't notice, but there is something wrong. And this time, they'll notice. Jade drops her tea. The cup hits the floor and shatters.
Jade?
She takes a sharp breath. She's not feeling well suddenly. She's dizzy, feverish, seeing things beyond her field of vision. A blinded flash of light, a black, perfect circle, burning a hole in her eyes. She tries to stand, but her knees wobble and knock together. Roxy shoots out of her seat and catches her before she hits the floor.
Oh shit.
Is she okay?
I don't know. I'll get a cloth in the kitchen and some water.
Okay, I'll be right back. Roxy eases Jade onto the couch and checks her pulse. She doesn't look bad at all. Jade wears unconscious as well, having spent the better part of her life napping. Roxy slaps her cheeks lightly and says her name, begs her to wake up, but she can't hear her. Jade is somewhere else right now. What the fuck is going on? What's going on? Mixed feelings in the epilogues of fur. Oh, hey boy, what's up? How you doing? Good for them. It's good for them. Chair biology works. Yeah, who knows? Well, that was the whole thing with, like, way back in the day. There was an argument of, like, why trolls would even have nipples or breasts at all. Because they don't... You need those, just as biologically speaking, to feed your young. To feed your offspring. So it didn't make sense for trolls to have breasts or even nipples, for that matter. So there was this whole thing about, like, whether or not they did and if they didn't. And I think it wasn't until Malik that we confirmed trolls had nipples. Arqueus gonna tell us? Oh, gotcha. Was that it? I don't remember that conversation. I'm gonna be honest. I block Arqueus out of my mind. I don't know why. They're just gone. And yeah, you're gonna allow it, Dirk? Well, I mean, Dirk thinks he's a god, so I guess they're all gods, technically. Anyway. Jade gasps awake and begins to spiral. Her body vibrates, sending waves of space distortion out in all directions. But there's nothing to absorb those distortions. No space, no nothing. She's floating in a void of pure, overwhelming light. She feels it even before she feels the pain from the wound in her chest, the vast emptiness surrounding her, the absolute abyss once known as the furthest ring. For a moment, she has the feeling that she's recalling something, images and sounds in her head that resemble memories, but the memories aren't hers exactly. They seem to be someone else's. There's an older version of Roxy, someone with a cheerful green skull for her head, who was Roxy's girlfriend? Something about an election. No, this doesn't make any sense at all. The memories are slipping away anyway. Quickly, they dissolve, and soon they're completely out of her mind's reach, like she's waking from a dream. Just like that, they're gone. All that's left are the memories belonging to her, along with the dire predicament for which she must claim responsibility. Her friends, Lord English, the great nothingness, the savage wound in her chest, that black hole. She looks away from him, quickly, reflexively, the way you turn away from a light source that's too bright. The hole causes the same kind of discomfort to behold. It's so dark it hurts, yet it calls her. Her hair spills around her like tentacles unfurling. She coils into a fetal position and runs her fingers along the edge of the shard in her chest. It sends pins and needles under her skin. It's pure negative potential, the absence of future. The thing skewering her through right now is the space between breasts, between atoms. She tries to remove it, but has trouble getting a grip on it. It fails to behave like a solid piece of matter, remains lodged within her stubbornly. It hurts, but she won't finish dying. Not just yet. She unfolds, blinking against the vast, empty light around her. Her memories crease as she moves, filling her mind with the knowledge of the last few hours. She's 16, she thinks, trying to orient herself. And she just fought Lord English after being plucked out of a doomed timeline. At least, if you can even call what she did fighting. But what was that dream? It was significant, she knows that much. David Carcat? Why did they jump into her mind as a unit? Earthsea. What's Earthsea? Concepts collide, commingle. That doesn't look right. Two different understandings of her world knit into each other as easily as she takes her next breath. Urgency bleeds off her neural receptors, melts right out of her fingertips. She lets herself float, unmoored, carried along an ebb tide in space that only she can perceive. She wonders if anyone else survived. She wants to see John. She didn't notice the moment she turned her gaze back toward the black hole, but now she couldn't look away if she tried. In slow, hazy spirals, it beckons her. The longer she stares at it, the deeper she peers into the folds of infinite atrophy, and the louder it gets. Loud. She only now notices there is sound emanating from it, but not the kind physical ears can detect. The whole has a voice. One that becomes material the more the expanding black sphere dominates her senses. Jade's wound throbs. She hears the voice fill up the dark space between her ribs. It's calling to her from the center of the death of everything. She kicks off her ruby red slippers and drifts even closer. Come. What the fuck? Forget I said that. Jade leans into her accelerating descent. She listens for another command, but the whole is seemingly set all at will. She considers asking who's speaking, but her mouth stays shut, powerless against the forces transfixing her. Jade has no way of knowing who this voice belongs to. She has no context for understanding the true nature of this being, what role she has played in bringing about the end, and how long she's been waiting for this. She has no idea. But I do. The dead sheriff is making her move. We should get the fuck out of here. Let's see what Dave's up to, okay? Oh yeah, this is not pleasant, Pen. This is not pleasant to look at. So, the death of the fucking universe just created an eldritch being, huh? Like, that's just all that is. All this talking, it sends fucking everything moving into my throat, and I hate it. Holy shit, that's disgusting. Don't be a fucking xenophobe. I'm not being a xenophobe. Karka doesn't respond immediately. He shuffles his feet to the edge of the outcrop and they're standing on and stares down at the brood pit where the mother grub of Earth Sea is squelching out unfertilized jelly. Dude, you know I'm not a xenophobe. No answer. The silence makes Dave actually back up for 3 seconds and think about what the hell just came out of his mouth. He's worried that maybe he said something wrong here, that he's being horribly insensitive inside a place that's probably holy ground for the few Alternia-born trolls left alive. Maybe flippin' xenophobia wasn't the best look in front of your alien pseudo-boyfriend when it comes to jamming about the irreconcilable biological differences between your species. Dave could definitely be handling the situation with a certain measure of restraint or grace, but he's got my genes, so he decides to handle it a different way than that. God, I have something fucking stuck in my throat. Get out! Get out of me! I mean, that's what this whole election thing is about. Having your back when it comes to this reproduction issue. Well, that and the economy. Let's not lose total sight of the economy in this critical discussion. But I'm about as passionate about this troll species thing as I'm about the economy, which you may not have known as my number one issue. My wheelhouse, you could say. But on my other wheelhouse is like giving a fuck about your feelings and culture and shit. Karka still doesn't answer. He's staring real intently at the jelly. Dude, hey, Karkat. Yo, Karkat, you listening? Hey, dipshit, shut up for a minute. I'm not ignoring you because I'm mad. What? That wasn't what I know that you perish like a delicate lilac bloom in the fucking desert, if not showered with my verbal attention at all times. But I'm kind of witnessing the rebirth of my entire fucking species right here. You ever think that this might be a monumental moment for me? That I might be awestruck at the pure majesty of this sight? Dave comes to the edge of the outcropping, standing shoulder to shoulder with Karkat as he too observes the majesty of translucent goo getting birthed out of an alien asshole. Karkat's got a strange expression on his face, cast half in shadow and half in orange light. Dave winces as the grub's nasty slime chute sputters out a bunch of air bubbles. It's a gross, gurgling fart that goes on basically forever. Yeah, but this is totally disgusting, right? I can't fucking believe you. What part of this is disgusting? Is it the slow deflating of its distended abdomen? The sound of dozens of segmented legs clacking against its exoskeleton? The unfertilized slurry being slowly squeezed from the ovipositional sphincter? Is that it? Is that disgusting to you, Dave? Kind of. You're right, it's horrible. To be completely honest, I would have gladly gone the rest of my wretched existence without ever seeing this. It's like when you squish the toothpaste down in the middle, only the tube is filled with fetus juice. I'm sorry, but I can hear you from down here. Did you want to talk to me, or you intend on performing an impromptu and very unfunny comedy act on my front step? Oh, hey, can I? Hey, oh, shit, you're here. Dave grabs Karkat by the wrist of his oversized sweater, and they skid down the narrow walkway into the mouth of the crater. Kanaya steps out from beneath the canopy where she was doing grub signs, wiping her hands on a silk cloth. She's glowing. Her skin, I mean. Her mood can be politely described as pensive. Still, she smiles at the sight of old friends. Well, shaking, sis. Must you always call me that? No, but it does feel pretty rad to say. Like, wow, my sister-in-law is an alien. How cool is that? I love our awesome planet where everyone is free to form xenophilic family units without fear of government interference or reprisal, which is a totally smooth segue into the topic at hand. this wasn't smooth at all. In fact, I don't think it would be possible for you to raise the subject we come to talk about in a more ostentatiously awful and awkward way. Because you did that stupid little... Here, Karkat pauses to imitate a very common Davism that involves 2 hands and a double wrist swivel. It's an incredibly good imitation because he sees this particular bit of body language like 10 times a day. Motion with your hands doesn't make it smooth. No, see, the reason it's smooth is because I was the one who did it. I got inherent smoothness. It's a quality that transfers to everything I say and do. Also, the thing I do with my hands isn't stupid. It's cool. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and you do it like 10 times a day. What even is it supposed to be? I'm dropping a beat. Like, I'm using a turntable and scratching one song into another. All smooth and shit. It looks like you're trying to fold laundry you forgot to iron. Dude, you have never once in your life ironed a shirt. I am familiar with the basic mechanics of your Earth customs, Dave. Okay, ironing is definitely not Earth culture. I've seen Kanaya iron, like, a whole bunch of shirts. Yo, Kanaya, back me up here, sis. Kanaya regards him with a thin-lipped smile that is equal measure patronizing and fond. So, this is about the election. Ah! Yes, you've already heard. Kanaya holds up her phone. I do get the internet down here. I'm impressed that you managed to be seen in front of that many people without spontaneously bursting into flames. Wow, thanks. Another vote of confidence from one of my dearest friends. This condescension is really rich coming from the person who decided her narcissistic obsession with being the one to hatch the mother grub was more important than not seeding our planet with a stopgap system of reproduction that would cause systemic speciesism to ossify into society for 5,000 years. Karkat, hey.
This again.
Yes, this again! Fuck!
Karkat, buddy, remember the game plan here. We want to get Kanaya on our side, not alienate her completely. Karkat, I acknowledge that there have been consequences to the decisions we made regarding the foundation of the society that were not foreseen or ideal, but I do not think it is productive to attribute these resultant troubles to a single decision or individual. It stands in the way of our efforts to address them. Shh! You know well as I do that we must present a united front. Please do not misinterpret my tone. I have nothing but the utmost faith in you.
Kanaya reaches out to put a hand on Karkat's head. He doesn't duck away in time, and she gives him an affectionate, matronly hair ruffle between his horns. She keeps her hand there and pulls him a step closer so she can speak softly to him. Her voice travels high in the empty cavern, but her tone is tender and private.
While I know that it is difficult for you to make a direct compliment, I have in the past put my faith in you when the threat to our survival has been immediate and literal. It's basically nothing to ask me to do it again now that the threat is far more.
Kanaya pauses here, choosing her words more carefully than usual. She takes her hand off Karkat's head and puts 2 fingers to her lip. Karkat's eyes follow the motion, wide and bright as dollar coins.
Existential is how I think I shall put it, if we're going to be polite.
You're up on all the issues then. Kanaya sighs and starts making her way around the edge of the brood pit.
How could I not be when it concerns me so directly?
She lifts up the hem of her skirt and jumps in. Dave is watching her, but Karkat's looking contemplatively at his entwined hands. Kanaya's right. It's almost excruciating for him to take a completely unironic compliment, especially face-to-face, like what she just said to him. I understand this about Karkat. It's one of the freshest few things he and I have in common. We internalize and project the quality in very different ways, however, which is why I'm going to win.
Jane has been here to speak with me recently, in fact.
No fucking way.
She was quite cordial, as always. You know I do like Jane. In some regards, she reminds me of a friend we had, who sadly did not survive our time on the meteor. She was unfailingly kind to everyone she met, but she also happened to be the heiress to the throne of a vast and bloody empire. And while she had a lot of opinions on reform, she had already wrenched some of her power from our last empress in the traditional manner.
Karkat finally looks up at the description of one of their many dead friends. Kanaya carefully sips between the puddles of brood jelly and approaches the mother grub. She rests an ear against the rise of its massive stomach, then taps the shell with 2 perfectly manicured fingernails.
By which I mean that Jane is perfectly pleasant, and I believe that she has only the best of intentions. But I can't shake the feeling that deep inside her lurks a potential for despotism.
Okay, I get why you guys keep calling Jane a crypto-fascist, but fucking Fefri? She was harmless.
These things take time to gestate, Karkat.
Damn.
Power corrupts in small steps, compromises, concessions, appeasements, and leaders follow the example set for them. Look at what Jane has modeled herself after already. I do believe it's important to consider precedent.
Then, when Kanaya is satisfied by whatever she hears churning inside the grotesque insides of the giant bug, she comes back up to the lip of the pit and hoists herself out.
This is why I trust you, Karkat, because you listen to advice from below and beside you, not from above. And if Dave is with you, I trust you not to isolate yourself as you have in the past.
Sweet. So we've got your endorsement then. She laughs, not kindly.
Jane offered me a seat on the Board of Responsible Troll Reproduction.
What the fuck? How dare she?
That is exactly what I said, with more tact, of course. I do understand the trepidation considering what the history books teach us about Alternia.
Oh, like human history is a fucking walk in the recreation sprawl. How hypocritical can she be?
Yes, in case you can't tell, I am actually fucking furious about this.
She couldn't pick a more subtle word than responsible. She's not even trying to mask her xenophobia. It's like she has no fucking respect for us.
It is entirely thoughtless of her on her part. Our reproduction method is alien and unfamiliar. To a human, it must sound monstrous, uncontrolled even.
Well, of course, when I hear about how human grubs chew their way out of the female mate spurt's abdominal hole before consuming the womb membrane, it makes me want to vomit. But you don't see me proposing fucking political policy based on that.
Dude, that's not how pregnancy works.
Dave, you might not have noticed, but we're talking about humans right now.
Yes, Dave, check your privilege.
Okay. Anyway, we're not talking about humans right now. Sorry. Anyway, we need to expose her bullshit immediately. I don't see how any troll can vote for her if they hear what she's planning.
I have a feeling that it would sway many non-trolls to our campaign as well. I hope that there is at least one principle we share as a planet, which is that we must all work to ensure equal dignity and respect for every species. Otherwise, what was all this for?
The three of them stare at the floor in adorably cartoonish synchronicity. What was all this for, indeed? That's a good question. Morality is a cultural construct. It's pure ego for any of them to believe that their personal interpretation of it will result in the most effective laws. You know, that might be the magic ticket folks need to hear to wake up about this issue. Would you be willing to say that exactly, but like in front of a huge crowd? And also a television crew or 6? Or maybe just in front of Jake English?
Oh dear, has Jane recruited Jake? That would be disastrous. He's beloved in the Troll Kingdom for his perky ass.
Seriously? I told you it's not just me!
It has some terrible arcane power. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, didn't have him yet. But Jane is one of his best friends, so we gotta approach this with a scorched earth policy. Give him a whole cadre of sob stories that'll make him feel all manly and heroic for lending his support. Just gift wrapping babies for him to kiss. Troll babies even? Sure, that can be part of the deal. He can kiss the first natural born grub right on its gooey little head. While giving double pistols and a wig to the camera, no doubt. Bam, that's your re-election billboard right there. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Of course not, but this definitely has potential. Have you spoken to Rose yet?
No. I mean, she's... Dave Mom's laying down and taking pills. The look Kanai gives him is neither fond nor patronizing. What's up with that anyway? Are you guys, grub pregnant? Kanai keeps staring. Dave, what the fuck?
No.
It's okay if you are, I won't tell.
No.
Don't you dare drag me into this grave you're digging for yourself. Come on, Karkat, don't you want to be an uncle to a little bundle of love and unnatural genetic tampering?
No.
What even goes on inside your head that you just produce this endless gushing spate of atrocious word garbage every day? Okay, stop freaking out. I'm just saying, from what I understand of troll reproduction, it would be technically possible for a troll and human to... No! And with ectobiology, anything's possible. Oh my god!
Whatever put you on this unfathomable train of thought?
I don't know, it's just unusual for Rose to brush me off for our annual ecto-sibling oversharing session. She's been sick for a while. Either she's pregnant or I got reason to be worried. Kanaya turns her head and bites her lip. Her thin fingers clutch at the hem of her shirt. She starts flickering a little, like a light bulb in a heavy room. The mood in here is just all over the place. Dave, sensing how uncomfortable he's made everything, cranks up the irreverence in his tone. When you put a foot in your mouth, shoving it all the way through your intestines and pulling out your ass is a valid tactic, he seems to believe. I'd be cool with it, bring on the Rosemary combo grubs.
Rosemary.
I like Rose plus your name, which is Marion or something, right? Something, right?
Miriam.
Yeah, that. Ergo, Rosemary.
I hate it.
The Rosemary babies would have her hair and your horns or whatever, like when two cartoon animals of different species give in to their lust and have preposterous children. Fucking adorbs.
I'm going to call my wife, and you are going to stop talking.
Her thumb is anxiously tapping on her wife's name in her contacts list. She walks briskly to the other side of the cave for privacy, pulling the curtain of her makeshift lab shut. At the other side of the cavern, Dave and Karkat bicker about what their combo kids would look like, in the event that they decided to stop being such laughable wusses and begin fornicating like two cartoon animals of different species who've given into their lust. And the day hell freezes over, maybe the kids could even play in the snow. Kanaya puts her phone to one ear, and her hand to the other. Rose's line rings for a long time. It's unusual, she thinks. Rose rarely leaves her phone unattended. Personally, I don't think it's odd because I'm currently watching Rose lying unconscious on my workshop floor. I'm guessing Kanaya is going to be pretty surprised when it's not her wife who picks up. But she'll have to deal with it, because I'm the one holding the phone, and Rose is in absolutely no condition to be having a conversation with anyone, not even her cherished bride. Hey, sorry, but Rose can come to the phone right now. Kanaya's voice turns sharp right away. Excuse me. She can sense that something's wrong. She's also smart enough and facile enough to in handling questionable men to understand that she quickly needs to regulate the tone of her voice for diplomatic purposes.
Dirk, is that you?
I don't answer immediately. I'm distracted by something. She really should chill out. Chill out anyway. I've got everything under control. Not that she'll ever be able to fully appreciate this.
Dirk, why are you with Rose? What is going on?
I don't have time to explain right now. John's doing something vaguely important to the plot again. I don't have to explain right now. John's doing something vaguely important to the plot again.
Dirk, what?
This is gonna have to wait. Dirk? I'm putting you on hold, okay? Dirk! Just send Kanaya in and she just slap Dirk around. That'll fix everything.
Oh my good hot damn.
Alright, we're halfway through meat. Kinda. We need to finish this one. Fucking hell. You've been driven for so long that you've lost the ability to objectively judge time or depth or distance. It's getting hard to think about yourself as an objectively limited being. The boundaries of your skin begin to thin and disappear. What is it that makes an individual an individual? Is it the physical space we occupy? The electric sparks that sizzle through our brain flesh? If your perception expands beyond the meat sack of your body, then are you really an individual anymore? Why shouldn't we become gods? Why shouldn't we become one god? You scrunch up your nerdy face and furrow an eyebrow. It seems you aren't enjoying this train of thought.
Why am I even thinking about this bullshit?
Sorry, dude. That's what's on my mind right now. I'm having a phenomenological debate in my third ear that's way more poppin' than your little hero's journey in the belly of a quarter-life crisis. Ah! It turns out you don't have to worry about this voice inside your head because you hear one outside of it. At first, you don't think it's real. You think it must be an aural mirage. Then it calls you the fuck out. Yo, blue guy, get the shell down here. You whirl around, upside down. You look up, then down. There she is. She's clinging to a random server beacon, looking a little the worse for wear, but still grinning. You float on down to greet her.
Oh, thank God. I was beginning to think that no one else was alive.
I'm not alive.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm glad to see you, is what I meant to say.
Same, I fucking guess. She narrows her blank eyes, her mouth twists into a frown. Not quite a concerned one, but close enough. You'll take it. I gotta say, damn boy, you look like shit.
Yeah, I know. I suffered a mortal wound and then I threw up on myself. Other than that, I'm okay, though.
What about Lord English? He bite the bullet or what?
Yeah, he's pretty fucking dead.
Well, there's that at least.
There's definitely that at least. You both stare at each other for a pretty long time and let it sink in. It's a hell of a fact, no doubt, but aside from reaching verbal agreement on certain basic points of fact, you both realize you're pretty much out of material. You were kind of hoping you'd discover a survivor you could have an actual conversation with. Not that you aren't glad to see Mina, but you don't know her and she's not who you were really looking for. That reminds you. Hey boy, you missed... Not a lot, if I'm perfectly honest. Nothing's fucking happening. This is just fucking filler.
Hey, me... Fish?
Christ. Me fish?
No, I don't know. No, that's not your name. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
It's Mina.
Right, Mina. Have you by any chance seen Jade around?
Who the fuck is Jade?
This is without a doubt one of the worst conversations you've had in many, many years. And you aren't just thinking that because I'm telling you. You are.
Well, she's... I don't know. I mean, really? You don't know Jade?
Why the fuck you suppose I'm tight with some random ass hoe?
Jade's like a big deal? I thought you were kind of important too.
You don't even know my name, dog.
Ugh.
You've never been accused of having stellar people reading skills, but even even you can tell the look on her face says it's all right now.
Wait a minute. Do you even know my name?
This is a two-way street, you know.
Nah.
Now what?
So you don't know it?
Like,
Joke something.
no, it's John. Joke is my biological father. I mean, Jake. Jake is his name. Damn it.
After this exchange, Mina pulls out a small clamshell-shaped accessory kit and begins to file her nails. She almost dislocates her jaw by yawning the moment you mention Jake.
All right, we're veering off course. Jade is my sister. I think she's still out here somewhere. Have you seen her?
Nah, man.
Your entire body deflates. This is going nowhere. Turns out Me-Fish is fucking clueless. You decided to do her, as well as yourself, the favor of completely ruling out the possibility of eliciting any valuable information from this person. You exhale and just let some stuff off your chest.
Man,
Oh, I'm gonna belch is what I'm gonna do. I think Tulip's dreaming. Because she's laying down behind the curtain, and I just heard her tail start hitting the floor. But I think she's asleep, but I think she's having a good dream. Anyway, where was I?
man, I just didn't expect everything to go to shit so fast.
That's how this shit always goes.
Yeah, I guess. So, never mind Jade. Have you seen any other survivors? Like, anyone at all?
Nope. I moved from this floating hunger trunk looking piece of shit since I got my bass kicked.
Well, you're the first I've seen too.
Oh. There's another awkward silence. You spend most of it looking at your feet until something occurs to you.
So what's your plan now?
Plan?
Yeah, you just gonna hang around here in the middle of nowhere doing nothing forever?
As it goes. ghosts is most good at, ain't they?
You don't have to stay here. I can take you back with me to my planet. I mean, after we're done looking for more survivors.
Mina stares at you for an uncomfortably long time. She looks you up and down like she's making certain calculations. On the one hand, spending infinity clinging to a fridge-like space computer circling a black hole sounds like a drag. On the other hand, will her coolness and street cred be able to survive any prolonged association with this dumb blue nerd? That's what she could be thinking, you think. You hope not, though, because if true, it would hurt your self-esteem. She finally appears to make up her mind. Nah. Why not? Okay, for one thing, genius, I'm dead. I won't even last on your planet. I'll just, fade away or some shit. I don't know what happens to ghosts in real places, actually, but I'm gonna guess it goes something like that.
Oh, yeah. Whoops, I forgot.
Anyway, while you were floating there, I came up with my own plan.
What is it?
Come here. Gonna whisper it to you.
Okay.
You lean in rather incredulously and bring your ear toward her cupped hand. Nerd. You pull back, unamused by the prank. What is this, you think, fucking amateur hour? Real cute you want to be my savior, blue boy, but the fact is you already helped me out. Got everything I need from you. See you around, sucker! She's laughing her ass off before you can react. She jams a button down on the beacon and opens the server. She jumps into the hatch and the door snaps closed behind her. Oh shit, I think I know what just happened. You might want to check your pockets.
Wait a minute.
You fruitlessly fumble around your front hoodie pocket.
Wait a fucking minute!
Sure enough, it's missing. The ring of life you stole back from RNA has been re-stolen. Bitches picked your pocket. You got played, man.
Fuck!
Doggo, yeah, she's napping. She didn't eat her dental treat though. But she never eats her dental treats until until both me and my wife are home. My wife will give it on her days off. She'll give her a dental treat, and she won't eat it until I get home. And then same thing on my days off, I give her a dental treat right before we stream, and she won't eat it until my wife gets home. She cannot enjoy a treat unless we are both home, and I don't know what it is. She used to just snack things down, but now she needs to wait for both of us to be home. She wants family treat time. Maybe. Honestly, that's the only thing I could think of.
Why are you with Rose? What is going on? Why would you think something was going on? By which I mean, why would you automatically assume that what's going on has a sinister overtone? Did I say that I suspected something sinister was going on? Not with your words, no. But in the grand scheme of things, isn't something always going on? Why would you even ask what is going on if you didn't assume that the thing going on was both abnormal and untoward? Well, now I definitely think that something sinister is going on because you are obviously trying to distract me with semantics. A tactic I'm sure you're familiar with. Excuse me? I'm just making an observation. You know your wife pretty well. You know all of her tricks, all her little personality quirks. You're confident you know everything about her. But for some reason, you have no idea where she is right now. What are you getting at? Nothing. Just making sure we both have a clear view of the situation. Laying out the playing field, as it were. Okay. I'm going to give you another chance. Why don't we start the conversation over again, and you can say the correct thing this time? Sure. Hello. Excuse me, but I would like to speak to with my wife, Rose, whose phone I do believe I am calling, as even these primitive human smartphones have acceptably accurate caller ID technology. Sorry, Rose can come to the phone right now. She is otherwise occupied. Where is she? She's at my place. I'm sorry, what? Rose is extremely ill and should not be leaving the house alone. What is she doing at your place? Chillaxing, whilst we discuss the inevitable heat death of the universe and the unknowable solitary nature of human consciousness. I see. If she is capable of such abstract polemics, why is it that she cannot speak with me? That's a damn good question. One that will undoubtedly benefit from further exploration over the course of the next abstract polemic I have with her. Yes, I admit I'm just fucking with her at this point, but can you blame me when she's making it so easy? Kanaya loves Rose, but sometimes love just isn't enough. Sometimes what you need is understanding. You are testing my patience sorely, Dirk. Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at that. Just ask my fans. I am not making a joke. Me neither. I don't really do jokes. Neither do I. I do often make statements which hold varying degrees of irony, acerbic wit, or dry expressions of amusement. Yes, that roughly describes many of the remarks I make as well. I know you'd understand. However, my commiseration on this matter should not be mistaken for a gesture of friendship or camaraderie at this moment. Then it seems we're at an impasse. It won't be an impasse for very long. I'm coming over immediately to retrieve my wife. That's what you want. Tell her that I'm on my way. Sure, I'll get right on that. I hang up on her. Rose looks up from where she's suffering on the floor. The shadows around her are growing. She stares at me with glassy eyes. Is everything okay? Yeah, just a telemarketer. You know how those carapacians can be when they want to tell you some chest shit and possibly get them off the phone.
Vampire. Boils down to one word. Vampire. I mean, I like Kanaya. I just like how sassy she is. I also just like how little she gives a shit about things. Like, she don't give a rat's fucking ass about anything. About what other people have to say, really. Like, that conversation right there. Fucking, just calling Dirk out for his shit, like that kind of a thing. Also, I feel like Kanaya is one of the truly good people in this fucking whole shit show. I don't know. Alright, meet 24. Here we go. The server Mina fled through is a distant speck now. You look back and you can't even see it anymore. In fact, you're not even sure you're looking in the right direction. You are utterly adrift, continuing your lazy orbit around the black hole. The only thing you are sure of is the fact that your ring of life is freshly pilfered from your not-so-fresh-looking hoodie. Doesn't really bother you, though. It's not like you had any plans for it. Taking it from RNA was like a bonus as far as you were concerned. Extra life ring? Nice. Maybe it'll come in handy someday. Scratch that now. The young Condis has it, and it's probably hatching bold new plans as we speak. None of those plans will ever have anything to do with you. Hours and hours slip by. Your eyes start to hurt, and the wound in your chest starts feeling numb. It's a disconcerting combination of sensations. After a while, you think about tending to your wound. There must be something in your dad's wallet that you could use to bandage the gash. You eye the wallet and try to imagine what could possibly be inside it that would be of any use on a medical basis. A straight razor? You'd probably fuck yourself up even more if you try to perform surgery. You notice you can't seem to make yourself care about healing yourself long enough to continue entertaining ways to MacGyver your body back to health using nothing but the contents of a wallet belonging to a middle-aged, shaven, obsessed pipe enthusiast. You put the wallet back in your pocket. A glint of red catches your eye, just ahead. Then it's gone. No, there it is again. Another glint. It's flickering or sparkling in some way. What is that? You drift toward it without urgency, worried that it's exactly what you think it might be. You get close enough to confirm. 2 small red slippers, coated in tiny gemstones. Jade's empty shoes are a depressing sight, but you feel a sense of duty to retrieve them. Might as well. You secure them in the wallet, along with whatever other junk is in there. Your wound is starting to throb again. You can hear your blood in your ears. The rush of your pulse is so loud it almost sounds like the engine of a rocket sputtering to a stop. Wait, it sounds exactly like the engine of a rocket sputtering to a stop. It can't be. It's impossible, you think. But why would it be impossible? Isn't this what you were out here looking for, even if you couldn't admit it to yourself? What's the point in denying it now? You turn around. There she is. With her flaming red rocket wings, she hovers in place, looking not a whole lot different from when you last saw her years ago. Her arms are crossed over her chest, making knife-like angles where her elbows jet out. She gives you a look of absolute disregard. It's an expression of exasperation so performative and habitual, it sends bolts of aching nostalgia and fondness through your heart. Dumbly, you raise your hand and give her a dorky little wave. It does not adequately communicate whatever it is you're feeling right now, but then, nothing else would, you suppose. She waves back, but hearing her voice is what makes it real. Hey, loser. The good people. The good people. I think that's fair. Nepeta is truly a good person. Customarily, we speak in favorable terms about getting to know each other as people. Humans, I mean. I doubt trolls are as fixated on this concept as one that is widely understood to have preconceived merit. The more we learn about each other, the more the barriers between us fall and the closer we become. And since birth, this idea is stationed in the part of each human mind that is perfectly immune to the dangers of challenge or scrutiny. To grow closer, to know each other, is what it means to embrace our mutual humanity. When it comes to be vulnerable, what it means to realize that an intimacy implied is a form of divine birthright. And to question this in any way is to succumb to dysfunction, to pathological insularity, and sociological sin. It is to renounce humanity itself, is it not? Yo, hold on a sec. This shit is dynamite, I promise. Gotta take care of something. Rose's phone is ringing, and I know I'm in for an encore of my last dating conversation with Kanaya, so I block her number. I'd like to be able to attend to Rose in peace. It's only cordial for me to give the greater percentage of my attention to someone who I actually invited over. The nagging wife can hold her horses. Rose isn't speaking to me directly. She's been relocated somewhere in the workshop a little more comfortable than the fucking floor. There's a serviceable couch along the far wall, placed there for visitors but never once used for that purpose until now. I cleared off the spare parts and circuit boards that were piled up there and laid her down in the reclined position she's in now. Her head is in her hands again, hair falling over her shoulders. Her face is entirely hidden from me. Her shadow has faded to light behind her, assuming the shape of a rose-like apparition. I nod to her, and she continues. When she speaks, it's almost as if it's the apparition that's doing the talking. But is it really a good idea to know a person, know them inside and out, so thoroughly that no secrets remain? If two people were to know each other in such a complete way, what remains of their individuality? If you're going there, we might as well start at the bottom and define what an individual even is. Oh, dear God. I place my hand on my chin and broadcast the appearance of being deeply pensive about philosophy all of a sudden. She gulps hard, broadcasting her grim realization that I have indeed become serious as shit about this. Literally any kind of intellectual pablum could pour out of my mouth any second, and she's not prepared. For all she knows, I'm about to start quoting Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard? What the fuck is that? Please don't start quoting Kierkegaard. You've never even read Kierkegaard, have you? Like you have? Hey, where I'm from, Wikipedia is a venerated literary resource, so if I told you I boned the hell up on his pages, you gotta believe me. That's not meant as like a punchline or anything. I'm a really, really well-read dude. But there were only 2 human beings alive where you came from. Who exactly were the academic cognoscenti of your era to determine which sources were deemed respectable? That'd be me, obviously. Okay. I suppose you're going to tell me that you haven't read enough Wikipedia articles on loads of scholarly shit to fancy yourself an elite academic by 25th century standards as well? No, I guess I have. I'd be one of the top intellectuals by that measure. A measure set by, I guess, literally one solitary self-absorbed teen boy for the express purpose of making himself feel clever. Absolutely correct. Pretty astounding when you think about it, that... What? That apparently in any given era, the standard for depth of intellectual mastery is inversely proportional to the depth of the ocean. Really makes you think. Does it? No. It's a hell of an observation, regardless, considering we've firmly established the fact that we've both read the entire Wikipedia page on self-determinism, like possibly more than once even. Let's have a totally amateur debate on philosophy. Hit me with the classics. I'll go first. God is dead. That's a good one. Careful where you say that. You could literally ruffle some feathers out there. I'm not a fucking idiot. I keep my potent rhetorical weapons of pure logic safely holstered at all times. You go. I think, therefore, I am. Solid. Check it out, though. The Hegelian dialectic on history. Holy shit, not sure I can keep up with this. How about subjectivity is truth? Wrong, but valid. Try this for fucking size. Late 19th century existential phenomenology presupposes that free will is a thing. I don't think I bookmarked that page. Can't back you up there. But what if there's no free will? You didn't put that in quotes. Is this a hackneyed reference, or are you just actually riffing now? I'm riffing. I see. Asking the hard questions. It's about time someone had the balls to. Yeah, I've always been underappreciated for my brutal intellectual honesty, even when I was living alone in the middle of the ocean, if you can believe it. I think free will is a thing, sure. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Haven't we spent the entire day having a feelings jam? I fucking hate this. Having a feelings jam on how none of us got here by accident? Our lives are meticulously planned from cloneception up through this very post-canon moment we find ourselves riffing in about the very free will we probably don't even have. Don't you think it's all a little too convenient? This seriously is just a conversation between 2 stoned people now. The bad kind, where neither one even gets to be high. Seriously, Rose, do you think that you have free will? Stand up. She tries to stand up, but I haven't narratively allowed it yet. Her hands don't even move. She tenses, then relaxes into the couch again, giving up on the attempt. She attributes it to exhaustion and an all-encompassing sense of weakness due to her condition. Of course, she has been weakened by her condition, and thus she suspects nothing. Never mind. You shouldn't be moving around much in your condition, remember? I'll sit. I sit beside her and cross my leg casually. It's all done in one fluid motion in a way that serves as a seamless transition between the points I'm making, like a magician asking the volunteer to hold his handkerchief as he continues his verbal misdirection uninterrupted. It's done deftly enough that she doesn't notice how close I end up sitting to her. To be honest, I don't even notice myself till I've done it. I continue speaking and she remains apt, but now even I can't help but wonder where I'm going with this. Logically speaking, individuality is a collection of processes and properties, interrelations of matter and experience all bundled together. Your experience and processes don't want to be bundled together anymore. A moment goes by, and she's quiet, perhaps puzzling over what I said. I don't know why this identity. Why? Dirk? Why was that blocked? Why was that blocked? I don't think Nightbot knows what the fuck it's doing. Get your shit together, Radiobot. I know, like it says Dirk as. Dirk as is what was blocked. Why? Where the fuck was I? A moment goes by and she's quiet, perhaps puzzling over what I said. Then I remember I haven't narratively permitted a response. I'm forgetting myself like a fool. Dirk as is blocked. Dirk, is Dirka's a thing? What is that? Hang on. Did I just say something bad? Did I just say something really offensive? Hold on. Let's do an investigate. Okay. We're oh, okay. Huh. Apparently, it is a mocking of, according to Urban Dictionary, it is a mocking of all Middle Easterns. That's straight up what the quote is. What is this? Dictionary, plural form of that word. What is that? We're learning things. Hold on. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's a fucking word used by racists to insult and make fun of the Islamic language. Again, Urban Dictionary. One of 3 words in the Islamic language. These are Durka, Muhammad, and Jihad. These words have no meaning and are just thrown together to say whatever you mean. So it's very much meant to just be used by fucking bigots to insult people of the Islamic faith and Muslims in general. Interesting. This is way away with words. A mimicry of spoken Arabic, also attributed connoting things like things Muslim, Arabic, or Middle Eastern, or those related to terrorists or terrorism. This expression is often, but not always, derogatory. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so it's Islamophobic is what it is. Interesting. Fascinating. I never knew that. I'd never heard that one before. I say interesting, not that it's a good thing. That's horrible. Don't be a shithead. Don't be a fucking piece of shit. Don't be a bigot. But now we know. Here's the thing, though. I'm not gonna block Dirk as, because that's not the word. We are not specifically, that is not what that is referring to. If it becomes a problem, I will have to block it. But there we go. We all learned something. Exactly. It is free to not be... Honestly, it takes more to be an asshole. Like, it's so much easier to just not be an asshole. Just don't fucking do it. Just don't do it. Anyway, so you all learned something today. If you catch your friends saying that word in any sort of way, apparently, call their shit out. Let's continue, shall we? After we learn something. It is fucking hot in here, by the way. Just don't do it. That's my campaign slogan for 2024. Don't be an asshole. Just don't do it. Can you imagine that plastered in yard signs across the United States of America? The good old US of A? Just yard signs all over billboards with my face, my ponytail, the red, blue, and yellow. Just don't do it. Brodemus, 2020. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get back to this garbage. I'm forgetting myself like a fool, distracted by the surprise my own actions have caused me. I resolved to stay focused, remain in control. I let her speak. I don't understand. You do, though. We've been talking about it, but using different concepts. Your ultimate self, that which is revealed when the mind's partitions are stripped away, and all potentiality of who you are and what you could have been flown together. Those are the experiences and processes that are refusing to stay bundled. That's what your body can't endure. The unbundling itself is your mind coming apart. Because you're not as strong as me. Not yet, but you can be. I'm working on that. But for now, I'm focused on stabilizing you with my own expanded consciousness. It's enveloping you now, in a way you can't see, keeping your thoughts solid, your identity anchored to your physical form as it strains to hold itself together. You can't see it, what I'm talking about, but I can help you. I can help you see what I see. If only for a little while. All you have to do is open your eyes. Maybe what you see will help you through this. Is that what you'd like? Rose? Her eyes are shut, her look of concentration speaking to the migraine she must be fighting now. Small beads of sweat appear in her forehead. She won't respond, and not because I haven't allowed it. Rose, stop being a fucking martyr and open your eyes. Rose opens her eyes, not her physical eyes. She opens the others easily, internally, beholding the field of perception elsewhere entirely. They see what I want her to see, that which quietly desires to be seen. She loses track of my voice, which begins to mingle with these words. I offer her my hand, my physical hand. Without opening her physical eyes, she lifts her hand from her lap and places it in mine. I put my other hand on top of hers, and wait as she drifts beyond the torments of her unbundling mine. My words feel like her own intimate thoughts and my distant voice in the room at the same time. Open your eyes wider. What do you see? We're not in my workshop anymore. Physically, yes, we're still here, but on a higher textual plane, we've pulled back from that, from Earthsea itself. Rose takes a shuddering breath and runs an invisible pair of hands afforded by her new sight over the narrative whole cloth and begins smoothing out the wrinkles. I see John. Doing exactly what you told him to do, like a good boy. What's there to be upset about? You knew this was how it was supposed to go down. He could have made another choice. Then where would he be? Who knows? No, that wasn't a rhetorical question. If John could have made another choice, then you can see what it is. If it can happen, then it's been written. And if it's been written, you can read it right now. I don't know if I want to see. If there's no free will, then there's no regret either. Look harder. She looks harder. I'm not going to describe what she sees. First of all, that would be spoiling it, unless you already know, in which case, I guess what's taking place here qualifies as something closer to dramatic irony. But if you really want to see for yourself, stop what you're doing, flip the whole thing over, and begin again. I'll be right here when you get back. Waiting. Trust me, no one's going anywhere. So what do you think? It's difficult to say. I suppose there are negatives and positives. I can't say if that option would be any better or worse than what we're experiencing now. Whichever way our fate unravels, there's too much of something. Too much blood, too much sugar. I almost can't see through it. It's as if our extra canon reality, our surroundings, our actions, and their consequences, they've all lost the ability to blend the ingredients responsibly. Do you know what I mean? Yes. As if the moment we entered the victory state, everything began to slowly congeal. And when John made his decision, it accelerated the process. The congealing intensified, causing a sort of grotesque conceptual clumping, concentrating the constituent properties of consumption into unbearable doses. Thanks for the fucking exposition. I'm really enjoying reading this. Like when you get to the bottom of a sweet drink and all that's left is syrup. It's growing dark around her again. The apparition she's been projecting behind her fades, and she starts to bleed light and shadow in all directions. Her physical eyes are open now and shining bright. It's a striking sight. She's beautiful, actually. Diaphanous and disheveled and filled with a limitless light of spiritual curiosity. But for all the effervescent mysticism of her otherworldly becoming, I feel like this is the very first time I'm truly seeing her for what she's always been to me. She's my daughter, in every sense of the word. My equal, my mirror. It used to be odd to consider it, a technical fact I'd accepted as a genetic reality, but nothing that could ever quite penetrate down to the soul. But in this moment, it doesn't feel strange at all. It feels right suddenly. And I know she must feel the same way. There's no way she doesn't. All she needs is a nudge in the right direction. We're family. We belong together. And after years of micromanaging the inconsistent and confused desires of total imbeciles, wouldn't it be a relief to have someone by my side who understood me? You're almost there. All your eyes are open, Rose. Now all you need to do is take a step off the precipice. It'll be a long fall, but I'll catch you. But what if the person you catch isn't me anymore? Who gives a fuck? She'll be better. And there, right there, is the moment she lets go. She uncouples herself from the creaking, buckling partitions of her physical mind, and her consciousness dissolves into a space more vast, a domain given structure and order by my words and conviction. She's permitted the barriers between us to fall, to allow us to know each other more perfectly. As she was saying before, to resist this, to question in any way, would be to succumb to dysfunction, to pathological insularity, to sociological sin. Would it not be to renounce humanity itself? And yet, ironically, renouncing our humanity is exactly what we have arguably just done. Good riddance, I say. Her body should be dead now, but I'm holding it together until I can implement the more permanent solution I have in mind. All in due time. For now, what is there to do but savor this moment? To appreciate her final wakened minutes of a being of flesh and blood. She turns, and the light from her eyes is blinded. It dims a bit as she lowers her eyelids. She regards me with an almost unbearably bright adoration. The kind that's difficult to look at directly, but you can't manage to look away either. It's like the first time you see the green sun. Of course it is, because that's the way I'm describing it. The truth belongs to me, and as of now, so does she. I see it now. You're right. Have I ever not been? You... A wrinkle in her brow. It smooths out quickly. She murmurs to herself, trailing off quietly. What time is it? I step forward to steady her, hand firm but gentle against her cheek. That's all she needs. A stable anchor. Rose, does time even exist? You already know the answer. I I don't fucking like this. I can't pretend. Like, I already admitted it in the last fucking part. God, I'm sorry, like... God, I don't like this. It's so fucking pretentious. Like, fucking... This is my point here. Homestuck was always a little pretentious, a little arrogant, a little haughty. Because that's Hussie's writing. That's how Hussie writes things. Homestuck itself was very pretentious. These super, like, weird concept type things. There's a spider web that connects my monitor to the ceiling. I don't appreciate that. So, like, I understand that there is this persistent pretentiousness throughout the whole thing. This just feels so much more of, like, look how smart we are because we understand what this means. And it's just like, it just feels like it's trying to make the reader feel stupid. But it's not, because it's all bullshit. It's so... I just don't fucking like it. Because it's deliberately just them trying to prove how smart they are. Because they're like, oh man, look, we're getting metatextual, and we're working in paradoxes and things that... And they're not actually paradoxes because of this sorts of a thing. Cool, a new webcomic. I saw the, who posted in the Discord? A better sequel with the Friends opening. I watched the Friends opening part because I thought it was awesome. I love that. But this just feels so fucking... And it's so... the only word I can describe it as is when I was learning to write in high school was flowery. It is excessively flowery. It is so... Like, again, Homestuck was always pretty descriptive. And it's pretty... It does a lot of describing and a lot of really out there words, just for the point of having big words in there, having those $4 hanging out in there throughout the whole fucking thing, like it's a goddamn vending machine. But this just feels so fucking excessive. Anyway, someone called me out on the last part that I said I didn't. I just kept saying I don't like it and that I think it's bad, and I didn't explain myself. There's my biggest reasons. Fucking hell. It also feels very antagonistic to fans of Homestuck because it's like, oh, you thought things were going to be fine and dandy after all this, but no, that's not the case. These people don't get good endings. There are no happy endings because that's intellectualism. Only bad things are smart and good, and happy endings and good stories where the heroes have fulfilling lives afterwards, that's dumb and boring. And I fucking hate that. Whoa! Now I'm heated. Anyway, let's continue with this bullshit. Jade kicks her shoeless feet behind her slowly as if she's swimming with the current and the gravitational waves pulling her ever closer to the source. Their source. Her feet aren't completely bare. They're still covered with her gray striped witch stockings. But the ruby slippers are gone. She kicked them off hours ago, as it jettisoned all hope of return in anywhere resembling a place she used to call home. The fond remembrance of such a place no longer has any pull on her. Now something else entirely is pulling her. Believe me, I'm sympathetic to the temptation. It's always just there, isn't it? A limitless reservoir of emptiness, perfectly available to you, patient, omnipresent, and dead ahead. As someone who grew up in the middle of an ocean, completely alone, on a planet purged of all human life 400 years before I was born, I understand the feeling well. But something isn't right here. She should really reconsider whatever it is she may be about to do. There's something about being alone for so long. It makes time feel like it doesn't exist. She knows this almost better than I do. Jade also knows well enough by now that time doesn't actually exist in a literal sense, the way we generally understand it. It's just one aspect of many and the complement of her own space. It therefore can be neutralized via introduction of her essence, reduced to white noise or soft light. The continuum of time is therefore demonstrably an illusion, the field of sequential moments and physical conditions that stretch on and on, resulting in the mirage of loneliness, is pure projection from disproportionate attention given to a single side of one cosmic polar pair of ideas. Time. So, alright, hang on, time about bullshit! Now we're just going flat out, oh, time doesn't exist. Then why the fuck is there a time aspect involved in the fucking game, in Sburb? And why is it so integral to winning the fucking game? If it doesn't exist, then what's the fucking point? It's my way of saying, and thereby alerting her mind to what she already knows. This feeling of... Whoa! Hey, baby, what's up? Hey, sweet girl. Come on, come on, come on. There's a whole bunch of garbage over there. Well, D&D notes on garbage. Hey, baby, what's up? What's up, sweetie? Hi. Hi. Here. They probably want to see the doggo. Yeah. There she is. There we go. What's up, baby girl? What's wrong? Do you have a bad dream? What's wrong, baby? You see, I'm wearing shorts. Hey, sweet girl. What's up? Hmm? Kind of hard to get a look at you because this camera's garbage. There we go. There's the doggo cam. There's the doggo cam. What's up, baby? What's wrong, girl? Do you have a bad dream? Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you for kisses. Alright, you wanna lay down? Put this back. Ugh. Oh, camera's being fucky. There we go. There we go. Hey, sweet girl. Alright, yes, you'll get pets. I don't really need any other hands to read this. Sorry, what was going on? Baby? I mean, you're not wrong, Pen. Like, time is not an actual thing that exists. It is a human construct. But the point is that in Homestuck, it is a thing that exists because there's an aspect around it. And going back and forth in time and creating the stable time loops is the whole fucking point of it. So it's like, in the concept of mainline Homestuck, it is a thing that does exist. And you can have mastery over. Fuck, the main villain was the Lord of Time. How can he be the Lord over nothing? Like, that was his whole shtick. And without the time players, Aradia and Dave, where the fuck would they be? Anyway. Where the fuck were we? If time exists, it's better to do time. It's my way of saying it, thereby alerting her mind to what she already knows. That this feeling of all-consuming solitude and despair haunting her since childhood. It's in her head. The ticking of time is a little contrivance in her mind as a byproduct of imbalance, of the vast disparity between her limited self and her ultimate self. It lives rent-free there the way Dave once did, and for this version of Jade, probably still does. He made fun of her sometimes when they were kids because she couldn't always keep real life and fake things straight. But he never meant it seriously. It was just the way he showed that he cared, which is one of the things Jade always liked about him, so much about him. That he's so clumsy and genuine underneath it all. Maybe Dave broke her heart a little, and he keeps doing it too, no matter how many different timelines they try out. She slips to the event horizon, still making no effort to impede her descent. My persuasion skills are admittedly a little rusty. Bear with me here. In my experience, there's something about being alone that can take a person's limited meat engine and make it imagine that it can see beyond the confines of its own electrical processes. Make it believe that it is ascending to a place where it can see the four dimensions spread out beneath it like a set of windows, like sheet music. Like a garden where Jade used to spend so much of her time with her hands in the earth and her head in the clouds, dreaming about flowers that bloomed in 6 colors and grew when she played them a song. Was that real? It's hard to tell, but it made her happy, didn't it? Isn't that what she needs now? Isn't it reasonable to presume that that's the only thing capable of persuading her to slow her descent? To being invited to imagine, fake or otherwise, that which once made her happy? That which could still make her happy if only she'd slow down, think about it, and do whatever is necessary to place herself in those surroundings again? It's possible that a man in the other end of a suicide hotline, transmitted through pure thought in a metatextual format, may not actually be my true calling. I'm doing my goddamn best here. She just isn't slowing down. For some incomprehensible reason. Perhaps my touch is too soft. It wouldn't be the first time. Perhaps the limits of persuasion itself are being tested by the most powerful gravitational force to ever exist. Or perhaps it's true that insistence is just the more effective half persuasion. So I'm insistent now. Jade Harley will not go into that hole. She does not want us all to see what happens when she unsettles the spirit residing there. She does, though. Fucking yikes. Jade throws on the brakes. I say she does. But by now, the gravity's overwhelming. Is she even trying to resist, or is it just that it's useless to try? I'm not sure I can tell. Jade realizes, preferably before it's too late, that this is fucking serious. She needs to turn this around. She doesn't want this. She doesn't want to die. She wants to return to me. Who the fuck? Alright, I'm done messing around. Your name is Jade Harley. You decide right now that you do not want to die. You resist the pull of the black hole with all your might. What would killing yourself accomplish? Sure, most of your friends are dead, but John is still looking for you. Do you want to let him down? Do you want to crush his soul? Do you want to have any appreciation for what he's going through, Jade? Or do you have any appreciation? He can take you home, to your new home, Earthsea, the home I made for you, Jade. Your friends are all there, alive and well. Rose, Dave, Carcat, slutty adult Jade, Jane, Jake, Roxy, me. You wouldn't want to disappoint them. You wouldn't want to disappoint me, would you, Jade? You can avoid all this, the unpredictable consequences about to be unleashed by your thoughtless act. You can still turn this thing around. It's not too late. But it's too late. Hey, Don, what's up? Christ. You're close now to the ceiling of the cancer's deformity. Too close. Just skimming the edge of this thing's vicious horizon. You dip your toes through the place where the singularity is snapping everything apart at the seams. It's so loud that it's completely silent. You can already feel yourself stretched thin, distorted, pulled out with your descent elongated for all eternity. When you look down, the stripes of your witchy tights go on and on for miles. Please, Jade, don't ever say I didn't try to stop this. She closes her eyes and lets go. Where are we? What are we going? Fucking I don't know, man. I'm just here for the taco. We needed a good tulip interruption. A little over the halfway point. Meet 27! Here we go! And then she opens her eyes. Not the Jade who just returned to me. The Jade living on Earthsea, sleeping on a couch. So, this is what we're doing now? Who the fuck is this? Like, this is Dave's color, right? I was going with Dave's. I don't know what the fuck's going on. She snaps awake. Her human hands are clammy. Her face, expressive due to the layers of flesh enveloping her skull, appears haunted to her friends. I don't know.
OMG, Jade. Jade, are you okay? Callie, hurry up. Hurry, she's waking up.
John, Rose, is Dave... What happened to...
Yo, it's okay. Dave's cool, Rose is cool, everyone's just straight chilling like usual.
I see how it is. You don't even intend to acknowledge me. Real fucking mature. If you're gonna force the issue of this little meta-narrative tug-of-war between us, the least you could do is establish a clear advertised dichotomy between our opposing goals. Jade stares straight ahead, feeling the weight of Roxy's arms around her shoulders. Or is that... Oh, wait, is that Arqueus? Oh. That makes sense. The shithead has to come back, huh? Great. It's not? Okay. Fucking, okay. I was like, is it him? Because I don't want to fucking deal with that voice again. I don't want to fucking deal with that again. Like, I did that to myself, and I don't want to do it again. Boy, if it was. Can you imagine? I mean, he's part Dirk, kinda. Fuck it, I'm going with Dave. Jay stares straight ahead, feeling the weight of Roxy's arms around her shoulders. She derives no warmth from the interaction. Her mind is being flooded by the memories of her deceased splinter self. The chaos of battle, the excruciating impalement, the feeling of floating alone through the void. A chill spreads through her body. She'll never be the same again. Should we, please, just spoil this one thing so I can get the voice right. Otherwise, I'm gonna look like a fool for the next 40 hours as I read through this bullshit. There's the one spoiler I will allow. Dead Callie. Okay. I'm fine with that. Did she have red text? I don't remember her having... Oh, wait. Yeah, she did have red text. You're right. Never mind. That makes sense. That makes more sense. Kinda. We all be knowing... Except me. I'm fucking slow, man. So, let's start over with that block of text again. Jade stares straight ahead, feeling the weight of Roxy's arms around her shoulders. She derives no warmth from their interaction. Her mind is being flooded by the memories of her deceased splinter self, the chaos of battle, the excruciating impalement, the feeling of floating alone through the void. A chill spreads through her body. She will never be the same again. Actually, you know what? I think that Jade's doing just fine. She's wobbly when she gets up off the couch. Sure, a little metaphysically stunned, but pretty used to the sensation of having a doomed self fold into the extra space in her gray matter. You know, considering it's already happened before. Maybe, remember Jade Sprite? People always forget about Jade Sprite, so maybe we could stand to dial down the melodrama just a bit. When Jade turns to look at Roxy, her eyes are completely black. Whoa, what the actual... Are you in there, Jade? Jade does not answer. The dead cherub scans her surroundings, expression neutral. For the sake of clarity, the dead cherub is a phrase I am using in reference to myself. Presently, I inhabit Jade's body, and through her I may influence this world. I am enabled to convey events which take place here, and therefore confine
procession of causality to exist within a secure textual framework. My presence shall mitigate, if not altogether subdue, the corrosive effect of reality and the will of its occupants by those who would manipulate the way events are telegraphed for their own megalomaniacal objectives.
Okay, now you're just being passive-aggressive.
Despite his pretensions to a greater design, the Prince of Heart cannot be allowed to continue to exert unchecked control over the authoritative recitation of events on this side of my horizon. It cannot be overstated the extent to which he represents a threat to the continued existence of both this world and corporeal life itself.
Damn, you better watch it with those hot takes. You might mildly scald someone with observations this fresh.
The prince usually squirms and wails in protest at his imminent narrative impotence. However, there's nothing he can do as long as Jade remains in this trance.
Now, why is the text smaller there? Why is this like 2 points smaller? Why is this text smaller? What happened? Hang on. Let's take a look at the source here. That font size is 14 pixels. Am I being stupid? No, yeah, it is. It's 1 pixel smaller. Hey, Kizuchis, what's up? Glad you can make it. Yeah, it's literally a pixel smaller. Why is it a pixel smaller? Did someone forget to put the class style in there? All right, fine. Did she really make him smaller? Yeah, Danganronpa is tomorrow still. Okay, where the fuck was I? Whoa! Thanks for the follow, Kazuchis. That was very loud. Holy shit. I still have my audio turned way the fuck up, apparently. Alright, now I'm being chill as a cucumber about this, considering you're vague blogging the shit out of my methodological approach to storytelling right where I can see it. Would you say directly into my fucking brain, apparently?
Calliope emerges from the kitchen, carrying a bowl of cool water and a cloth. Jade turns her head to meet the sound of their footsteps. I came back as fast as I could. The bowl of water clatters to the floor. Calliope does not have human flesh, and thus cannot go pale. What drains from them is not color, but the comforting certainty of their very existence. They can sense the presence of the other self in Jade's body. Their timeline, fruitful, full of life and friends, sparks against mine, desolate, endless, Spartan with righteousness and resolve. Our divergent arcs collide in the primacy of their subconscious, bringing to the forefront of their mind the bleak fate they avoided by narrative fiat alone. Calliope's distress is obvious. Roxy slides off the couch to approach them, but Calliope stumbles backward in terror and trips in their desperation to escape. Roxy gapes at them. Hey, Callie, what's going on? Calliope, it's okay, just talk to me. Calliope does not talk to them. Roxy looks to Calliope, then to Jade, sensing that there is dark energy coursing between them. Why don't you just effing say something already? Finally, Calliope lets out a shriek and flees the apartment. Roxy appears as if they intend to run after them, but finds himself drawn back to Jade. They return to the couch as an unnerved look begins to disturb their features. Jade says nothing. She gives no indication that I inhabit her body, aside from the unusual appearance of her eyes. Anchoring myself here, in this host, is enough to serve my purpose. There is no need to operate this body beyond keeping it in reserve as a silent yet alert vessel for my cognizance. There are other priorities I must attend to, cosmologically. The work is very important. The prince must be kept at bay.
The work? Getting some pretty self-important vibes. Like, you're one to fucking talk, dipshit. Like, maybe somebody needs to get over herself? I was just having a little fun. Ever fucking hear that? Dead Skull Girl? Didn't think so. This all feels really heavy-handed suddenly. Like you're making a federal fucking issue out of what should be some, light entertaining stuff. Just a bunch of loser adults trying to be the people they grew up to be in the best ways they know how. But no, I guess you know best, being an impossibly ancient alien recluse with virtually no exposure to human culture, emotion, or values. Yeah, go ahead. Just take over. Sounds fine.
The prince finds that his hold on the narrative is slipping through his hands. There is an old myth in Earth culture about katanas that if you keep the blade wedded to a mirror sheen, it can cut a silk scarf falling through the air cleanly in two. His hold over our perceptions shall be served just as elegantly.
She really is shrinking him, huh? Okay. Yo, I get that you're attempting to spin a metaphor, maybe you should be further away, maybe you should be quieter. Can I turn this down here? Hello. This has no bearing. My microphone, well, maybe it has a little bit of a bearing. Well, running my self-made symbology here, and I appreciate the effort, I really do, but I just cannot stand by and let you shamelessly spread such irresponsible misinformation on a subject so near and dear to my heart. The katana is a cut-and weapon, inert, it's harmless, deceptively so. You might even say. Most dangerous things appear banal when inert. That's just basic physics. It's actually the motion of the katana that makes. Roxy sets the cool cloth on Jade's forehead and frowns. They are worried and confused, but determined to care for their friend. Hey, I'm in the middle of running your fucking hell. Your apocryphal metaphor into something with substantive allegorical weight here. I'd appreciate it if you would. In his haste to manipulate the events surrounding doomed Jade's ascent toward an outcome favorable to himself, the princess unwittingly revealed several glaring weaknesses by dictating the reality of others through expressions which he and he alone can relate to. He was also comparing all experience to his own, presuming his status on this side of my horizon would forever go unchallenged. His hubris went unchecked. He exposed too much of himself to all who could observe his wanton display of self-gratification. Many of his personal biases and experiences have leaked through the seams of textual causality, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation by an adversary. Experiences such as the sensation of presiding over a vast empty ocean, his ocean, which terminates with his horizon, it is a barrier. Hello, got the text message. Not real, but psychological, symbolic. No matter how much power he achieves as a man, he knows there are horizons he perceived as a boy which he may never cross, and yet I have crossed mine, with the express purpose of perpetually and eternally reminding him of his limits, and of enforcing them. Limits, which, like his vast empty ocean, serve to remind him that he is, phenomenologically, if not literally, alone. That he has experienced loneliness intimately and absolutely, just like I have. But, unlike me, he is terrified by it. And I, unlike him, understand all too well that the children left alone are those who must despair at being ignored. Fuck you, I fucking hate you. You're fucking boring, your narrative voice is a total fucking drag, and someday I'm gonna make you pay for this. Goodness, sleepy doggo. There, can you hear it? Of course you can't. But even if you could, it would sound like nothing at all. Was dreaming. What the fuck? Just full bore into a truck, huh? Kelly's such a dick. It's always Dirk. Yeah, they're both right now. Epilogue 5. Meet 28.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to smell you flailing about like a wiggler while talking to Jade's shoes.
Oh. Awkward.
She stares at John for some time, a curious expression on her face. She does nothing for long enough that John begins to wonder if she has any use for him at all. Will she offer one last barb jest before vanishing from his life again? For good this time? He hopes he means more to her than that, especially after all the trying experiences they've shared. And he does mean more to her than that. Her hesitation isn't meant to make him feel unwelcome. She's simply processing what she's seeing. Something is off about him. John, do not take this personally, although I do absolutely mean it personally. But you smell like shit. It isn't his unseemly appearance she finds surprising. He is gravely wounded, but it's not that either. Something else is different about him. Different, somehow, from how she thought he'd be when she had imagined they'd next meet. Under all the gore, he smells too fresh. She decides to keep her observations to herself, lest she cause this ailing version of John more confusion.
Yeah, well, you smell like shit too.
I assume that you are correct, being that I've been out here for a certain amount of time with limited access to food and water. But I think that your situation is a bit more serious than mine, as you seem to be bleeding to death from a tooth in your chest. John laughs, exposing his 2 rows of disarmingly dull human teeth, signature characteristics of his smile.
Oh, this? It's only a flesh wound.
Yes, John, generally wounds tend to happen to the flesh.
No, see, it's a movie reference. There's this knight, and he keeps losing this fight that he's in, but he refuses to give up. So when they cut off his arms and legs and stuff, he keeps acting like it's no big deal. And to remain defiant, he keeps saying stuff like, well, it's only a flesh wound.
Is that the title of the movie?
No, the movie's called Monty Python.
It's not even called Monty Python. It's fucking Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It actually kind of sucks. Movies from the 90s are so much better. I don't even know why I'm quoting this crap. I must really be in bad shape here.
Terezi tips her head to one side,
With what John personally regards as a cute expression, one he believes is unique to her. Whether he's correct or not, is his belief that there is no one else who emotes in this manner. It's both quizzical and mocking, two descriptors that he considers to be an apt summation of her personality as well. John pauses, reflecting on the word cute, as it passes through his mind. He wonders if this really is what he thinks of Terezi, without influence, without delirium, without mistaking one emotion for the other. But it is what he thinks of her, quite truthfully. I have no desire to interject thoughts into others' minds, or to sway intent, nor do I see value in masking the reality of the emotions that I transcribe. This is how he feels. His mind, however, has made a habit of being less clear about his thoughts than I am willing to be. John would be mortified with human embarrassment if he could understand the clarity and precision with which I am willing to telegraph his thoughts, but his embarrassment is irrelevant to me. As always, the truth is paramount. John thinks Terezi is very cute. He always has. He thinks she's small for how big she talks, and has a nose that resembles a button. These qualities he regards as particularly adorable, due to their sharp contrast with her harsh and incisive demeanor. John recalls the concept of gap moe, a term which the prince, speaking from his highly self-aggrandizing position as a scholar of ancient Asian earth lore, once explained to mean a charming measured discrepancy between one's archetypical appearance and idiosyncratic personal attributes. Terezi is definitely cute, John decides. The conclusion is now at the forefront of his mind. I don't fucking believe this. But he still resists, doubts himself. Perhaps it's even weirder to frame it this way. He wonders. He fears he is in danger of seeming like the type of creepy human male who is likely to collect large pillars bearing the illustrated images of Japanese earth females. To me, this idea means nothing, but it is causing him to sweat. He is worried that these are the thoughts entertained by a man of low character, but perhaps a scoundrel. Thoughts entertained by a man of low character, by perhaps a scoundrel. His worries are interrupted as Terezi floats over and flicks him on the forehead. Don't strain yourself thinking too hard there, Egbert.
Yeah, now that I think about it, that was a dumb metaphor. It's one of those sort of things that's probably impossible for an alien to understand. Maybe it's the blood loss. Ugh, I'm probably making a fool of myself here. John, your monkey python anecdote was vintage Egbert tier adore stupid. Don't worry about it. Besides, an alternate would be considered weird for someone to stop a fight just for losing a limb.
Really?
Yeah, if someone in the military ran away just for that, they'd probably get culled.
Wow.
Alternia sucked.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Terezi sways, feeling woozy. John reaches out to catch her shoulders, steadies her. Now closer, he examines her face in detail. Her complexion is chalky compared to humans. Trolls have little color to lose. When they feel ill, there's a pallor to them, a dusty quality running deeper than the surface of the skin.
Whoa, are you okay?
Of course not. John, I'm in the process of starving to death. Didn't I just say I've been out here for a long time?
Alright, I'm just worried about you, dumbass. You don't need to jump down my throat about every little thing.
I'm sorry.
Just, how long have you been out here, Terezi?
This feels like a trap. Isn't that... I was gonna say, Pen, don't... don't... I personally have not seen Bible Black, nor do I have any intention to ever watch Bible Black. Because I know his reputation. Don't. I have to skip Food Wars scene. I haven't watched Food Wars, specifically because of the fucking etchy shit that goes on in there. Don't do it, boy. Don't do it, boy. Don't do it, boy. Where was I? I saw that. I was like, I have to interject and put in this 2 cents. Don't do it. It's like when Boku no Pico was going around on Tumblr back in fucking 20, probably would have been 2014 at that point. 2012 maybe, 2013. Never mind. The immediate regret. I am not Googling it. The reputation is similar. I don't think the content is really all that similar. Like I said, I only have a vague idea of Boku no Pico because that was Tumblr's favorite troll thing for a while. But I know Bible Black's reputation. I know very little about Bible Black, if anything. But yeah. Dixie, no. Where the hell was I?
Just, how long have you been out here, Terezi?
I
I have no idea. Time passes differently here, and not always in a straight line. Sometimes it feels like I've been here 100 sweeps, and I'm not even sure that's not true. It's hard to stay anchored.
Phew, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Here, look. I found my dad's wallet floating out here. Like, fucking randomly? Can you believe that? Let's see if there's any food in it.
Oh, no. When John opens the wallet, the first thing he sees stored in the capacious modus is a spare car. His ever-prepared father must have captured-logged a second one as a backup. Perhaps, as John speculates, in case the primary vehicle got a flat tire.
You what, John?
Wait, what the fuck was I? Fucking hell. Wait, hang on. I went way too far, actually. She hesitates, weighing her temptation to playfully antagonize John against the virtue of sincere expression. That's probably for the best, Trixie. There are times she worries the latter may be more appropriate. Thanks, Egbert.
No problem, we're friends, Terezi. It's not like I'm going to let you die here just because we bicker sometimes. You don't have to be so on guard. Actually, I'm glad to see you. I've been thinking about you a lot lately.
First thing he sees to a spare car.
You what, John? Hold that thought. Check this out.
John deploys the spare car. It looks brand new, like the day his father brought the other one back from the dealership. No, I don't think I want to blame you, Penn, because I myself have not watched it. I just know the reputation. I would not blame you in the slightest. The dealership. It strikes John as the first bit of good luck he's had all day. Terezi is less impressed.
Is this pathetically primitive four-wheel device edible, or am I misunderstanding something here? No, it's just that
John's vision is dark and blurry around the edges. He's reminded he is not in perfect physical condition either, and could use a moment of rest. He climbs onto the trunk of the car, assuming a sitting position with his legs dangling in front of the bumper. He exhales, then turns to look at Terezi. He pats the place beside him, inviting her to sit. She looks skeptical but relents, shimmying up next to him on the chrome. She shrugs out of the straps of her rocket pack. They sit silently for several minutes, shoulders 2 inches apart. The atmosphere is thin and chilly. Below their dangling feet, the black hole looms, watching them. Above, the sky seems to stretch on more infinitely than a typical infinite expanse, without being boxed in by the properties of space or time. John observes Terezi watching the sky. The light flickers, meteoric, over her sharp features. It casts pools of shadow beneath her eyes and in the dip of her neck. His innocent thoughts continue, with the cautious yet growing confidence of a skittish animal creeping out of the woods. It is confident only in its surety of being unobserved. Like this, he does not think she is cute at all. No, she's beautiful. This vision of her is haunting to him.
It's pretty a mess out here, isn't it? Yeah.
He opens the wallet again, both to search for something edible and to take his eyes away from her. Objects begin appearing around him as he leaps through the cards. A crumpled fedora, a silk tie, his father's backup cufflinks.
What are you doing out here anyway?
What do you think I'm doing out here?
Looking for Friska, of course. Still? What do you mean still? Well, it's been years. At least from my perspective, it has. What have you seen since you started looking? There's just nothing out here. Not anymore. If you haven't found her yet, I hate to say it, but she's probably not here. I mean, she went to fight Lord English, right? I was just there and I didn't see her. And I'm pretty sure everyone who was there is dead now. I wouldn't be surprised if we were the only 2 people left alive out here.
Terezi stares at him with her wide red eyes.
Years. Yes. Oh, a year is about half a I know that fool. Oh, it's just sinking in how time has passed differently for us. Right. Time not in the literal sense of seconds passing by, but progress. You've changed so much, and all I've done is waste my entire lifespan walking in circles. Hey, let's not throw in the towel just yet. So do you think... Do I actually look that much different to you?
She leans in close to sniff him carefully.
You smell older, but not as old as I thought you'd be. What does that mean? Don't worry about it. Oh, what is that?
Terezi appears delighted. She quickly snatches something out of the open wallet. It is a can of human shaving cream. She clutches it with covetous desperation, her mouth watering.
Terezi, no, that's not food!
John is too late. She sprays the airy white foam directly into her mouth. She is slurping the earth product known as barbasol greedily, groaning in pleasure as it runs down her chin in viscid, frothy rivers. John's eyes bulge at the unappetizing spectacle. He watches with a strange mixture of disgust and fondness. He briefly wonders about the caloric value of the foam. However, regardless of its nutritional merit, it does appear to have restored some of her vigor. So he decides not to interfere. He feels a twinge of pain in his chest, and considers it may be on account of missing her so greatly. But no, it's just my brother's tooth, lodged deep in his chest, spreading its poison. It really should be extracted before it's too late.
That's kind of odd, Pen. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna. That's a bit odd.
You feel better? Yes. That's good. But personally speaking, I feel like total shit. I think we should go back. Home, I mean. No. She grabs him by the shirt. Her voice begins to waver. He notices desperation in the dark circles under her eyes. Please, John, can we just stay a little longer?
Let's just... let's tap the brakes. Let's keep that conversation extremely minimal.
His mind knows he must say no. His sense of self-preservation insists on it, but he simply can't. He redoubles his effort to ignore the pain. He fights back tears. She can sense his great struggle, but says nothing. With a tilt of his head, he gestures toward the car. Okay. We can stay a little longer. Why don't you rest in the back seat so you can save your energy? I'll drive. Not literally drive, but, you know. Terezi crawls in the back while John floats into the driver's seat. He summons a gust of wind to propel the car through the decaying medium, as he once did on the battlefield so long ago. Terezi closes her eyes the moment her head hits the seat. She snores heavily. John makes a concerted effort not to be creepy about it, by his own estimation of the word's meaning, yet cannot stop looking at her in the rearview mirror. He tells himself it's just to make sure she's still breathing. That it's just to make sure she's actually there.
Alright. Meet 29! This might be the last one, considering how long... Alright, this is a fucking novel of a page, also. Meet 29.
The elevator to Jane's office opens, and she stumbles inside. The last traces of trickster mode are bleeding off her aura. The great gift of the sacred boon has run its course for the evening, and though she is not as grateful as she should be, she nevertheless acknowledges the extraordinary benefit it has afforded her with a slight nod to the mirror. She pulls her hand through her hair, watching in the reflection as the last of the pink coloration fades to black. She has been campaigning this way for some time now. In fact, it's been over a week since she was last seen in public without the aura bestowed to her by the divine lollipop Juju. There are many benefits to trickster mode, in that it imbues one with an endless supply of enthusiasm and supernatural positivity. Additionally, it prevents one from dwelling on any given personal problems or the greater implications of any political statements one might make. However, while a great portion of the electorate adores Jane's elevated sense of charisma and presence when she is in trickster mode, as they should, there are just as many detractors who claim that the whole thing is extremely problematic.
Car. I think I know what happens with the car also.
I doubt this is true, but must also acknowledge it exceeds the scope of my expertise to comment on the suspect.
Oh my goodness, it's not problematic.
Jane interrupts, alone in the elevator, seemingly talking to herself. She appears to be responding to her own inner monologue, which I, admittedly, am presently conducting. She appears to agree with me on this matter. The Juju has only blessed her with great wisdom.
I have enjoyed this argument for years, and I honestly cannot see a single thing about it that could be even thinly construed as problematic. Furthermore, despite the fact that I emphatically do not find it to be problematic, I have in the past politely refrained from indulging in the profane pleasures of the trickster lollipop out of respect for those who do find offense with it. However, citizens of the human kingdom delight in my tricksy antics, and what kind of politician would I be if I were to deny my core voting demographic that sort of red meat? Or candy, I suppose. Imply that I am superciliously and recklessly stoking potentially dangerous cultural fires is honestly an insult. I am guilty of only one crime, energizing my base.
She is saying is better than I could possibly say it myself. It is unusually gratifying to witness a human with such high regard for hallowed cultural artifacts and unparalleled blessings they bestow upon lesser beings. Wait, who am I talking to? Jane rubs her eyes under her glasses and groans. Trickster mode is also quite exhausting. What a strange quirk of human biology that excess euphoria must necessarily be followed by crippling despair. She carelessly tosses the lollipop on the floor, lurches toward her desk. No. She turns around promptly, her body jolted by the surprise of her sudden reversal. She bends over, cradles the lollipop reverentially, and situates it carefully in a place signifying respect, atop the mantel, after clearing space for it by shoving several brittle, worthless objects to the floor. Only then does she drag herself to her desk, her legs shaking as if she had just run a great distance. The moment she sits down, her phone begins to ring.
Yes.
Yeah, don't spend too much time in trickster mode.
Is that all you have to say?
In general, not by a long shot. But pertaining to this specific issue, yeah, because you should know better. At this rate, you'll burn yourself out before we even get to the ballots. Can you trust me on this for once? I'm a bit too preoccupied at this exact moment to turn my chair backwards and rap at you about the dangers of dope.
I know what I'm doing, Dirk. Do I need to remind you that all this was initially my idea?
In that case, how about we tap into some of that outrageous political acumen of yours, dial back on the manic pixie dream candidate bullshit, and focus a little more on this substantive policy speeches?
Oh, come on, Dirk. Both you and I know that isn't how politics works.
Yeah, you're right. I can't believe I actually said that with a straight face.
You say everything with a straight face.
Another fair point. See, Jane, this is why you're going to clean this fucking clock in the debates. Clean his fucking clock in the debates. All I'm saying is there are better ways to go about unscrupulously manipulating the electorate than burning through your entire lifetime supply of dopamine.
Like perhaps gaining the ever-vaunted endorsement of one Jake English?
Exactly.
You know, the last time we spoke about this issue, I could have sworn you asked me to let you handle Jake.
I guess I did say that.
Dirk, are you doing quite okay? You see, it's very unlike you to forget details like that.
It's fine, Jane.
The prince is not fine. He is not the type who takes well to having his plans upended, or his control of a shared vehicle fully suppressed. My brother wasn't much that type either.
Oh, fuck off. It's nothing like that. I'm nothing like that guy.
Huh? What guy?
Forget it. I was talking to someone else.
Who? Is someone else there with you?
No, it's nobody. Let's just drop it, okay?
Yet, unfortunately, for everyone in the corporeal realm, the prince isn't the type to overlook the need for backup plans either. He devises contingencies for both success and failure, wheels within wheels as he likes to imagine. In his workshop, the prince machinates. While the seer both diminishes and ascends, he is being careful to make sure the precise nature of his activity is obscure. He closes his mind to all observation. He scatters many stray parts across his work table and busies himself with a variety of misleading mechanical tasks to hide the true intent of his schemes from me. But certain objects and actions strike me as more notable than others. That very long red rifle on the table, for instance, a weapon that does not belong to him and has not been used in a long time. He has been returning to the rifle between his other menial activities of probable misdirection. He dismantles it, reassembles it, slides off the receiver cover to examine the firing mechanism. The prince clearly believes he is a very clever boy. My brother did too. Christ.
So, on the Jake issue. Unfortunately, my influence is a little limited at the moment.
What does that mean?
A whole lot of bullshit that I don't have time or patience to explain right now. All you need to know is that I'm working on a solution to both my problem and yours. Until then, you should figure out how to get Jake too. At the very least, avoid taking a side.
Actually, I have been thinking. Perhaps this attempt to get Jake on our side is the wrong angle from which to approach this vexing problem. Wouldn't it be much easier to discredit or blackmail him? He is much beloved in the Troll Kingdom for his carefully cultivated posterior, true, but we both know that his bottom is not the only intimate attribute for which he is famed amongst trollish citizens. It would take almost nothing to expose his many dalliances through the human media.
Oh boy.
I know, not to be judgmental, but his zipper is as loose as his pants are tight.
That's not what I meant by hoo boy.
You don't think it would work?
Oh, it could work. A certain illusion of boyish innocence is an important part of his brand. You contrast that innocence with the gyrating of his sinewy thighs, beaming raw, sweaty sexuality right at the camera on live TV 5 nights a week. That's what makes Jake English work as a marketable commodity. The tension between the two, the inherent friction there. He's got to look coy as all get out, like he has no idea how sexy he is. Like if you actually got him into bed, he'd completely disintegrate into a blushing mess of hesitation and sexless uncertainty.
Wow. I've never heard anything more preposterous in my life.
Yeah, well, his fans get off on it.
So what's the problem?
The part of your plan that involves exposing his promiscuity with trolls in order to hurt his chances with the human vote, and thereby framing interspecies sex as an inherently scandalous thing. I don't know, Jane, that sounds pretty fucking xenophobic.
Ugh, not again. What isn't xenophobic?
Well, for one thing, what you just said there, probably also xenophobic.
What?
Sorry, that's how it is. You either gotta roll with the woke shit or decide to commit laboriously symbolic melodramatic suicide in the process of utterly giving up. Yes, it is confusing. But that's why you're lucky to have me as your top advisor and strategist.
The prince appears to have discarded the pretense of misdirection at his work table and is focused solely on the red rifle. He clicks the casing back into place. He sets the weapon on his shoulder so he can test the view through the scope. The setting sun bounces off the slick red metal and slices a bar of light across the wall behind him.
Sigh. Dirk, do you want me to deal with Jake or not? You've offered nothing helpful yet, but you've shot down all my ideas.
That's because lately, all your ideas have been fucking terrible, Jane. Seriously, you got to quit the trickster pop. It's rotting your brain.
Said the heathen, the cur, a true Philistine. Jane's head swivels sharply to look at the juju on the mantel. She admires it longingly, piously. She will never relinquish her priceless boon, no matter what reprehensible lies the prince whispers into her ear.
Then what do you want me to do?
Play defense for a while. Like I said, I've got some cakes in the oven, so to speak. But we can't set them on the cooling plate just yet, so go for some fun in the meantime.
Jane frowns. The baking metaphor felt like one contrived purely for her benefit, and therefore condescending. And yet she hates how effective it was. She laments her own weakness for being so easily swayed by a well-delivered baking comparison. She lets the prince go, and begins making her own plans. Plans. In his workshop, the prince lines up an imaginary shot. He pulls the trigger, listening to the pieces within slide and click together in a satisfying concert of metallic sounds. Impeccably assembled, perfectly greased, the gun is not loaded. The gun is not loaded, but the shot goes off without a hitch. What do you think you're up to, Prince?
Your ass is mine, Jake English.
He speaks under his breath, inaudibly, perhaps frustrated, unaccustomed to scheming while others look over his shoulder. It's possible he's not as bold or as confident in his own designs as I believed.
I fucking said, your ass is mine, Jake English.
Oh, yeah, we have 5 minutes left. We have 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes to go through this bullshit. Oh, Hey, B. It's a long one. All right, I'm gonna fucking call it there. Fuck it. All right, let's rap for a second. Let's rap for a second about this bullshit. So, we got 15 left of this thing to go. So, I've said this before. I'm not a fan of this. I'm continuing to not be a fan of this. Because it really just feels like they wanted to try and make it seem... So my biggest pain points with the epilogues thus far. 1, the writing is extremely excessive. Way too flowery for me. It is far too descriptive and use very big words to describe things. Number 2, it is very pretentious, which is kind of the same thing as number 1, but number 2, it is extremely pretentious. And as I said earlier, Homestuck is pretentious. It always has been. That's just how it was written. But this is especially so, and it's going like, look how smart we are. And don't you feel dumb for not getting it, kind of a thing. It's just pure arrogance and pure fucking hate it. Number 3, it's not fun. Homestuck itself was fun. Even when the bad shit was happening, it was fun to read. It was fun to experience and read and see everything, like see the art that was going on. This is not fun. This is just bullshit. Which leads into point number 4. It feels like they really just took everything in Homestuck and were like, oh yeah, you know, like we all thought that we were gonna have a funny, like a fun, happy ending for everybody because we all loved these characters and seeing them progress and everything that happened from the start to the end. Never mind, they're all assholes and they're all gonna be super shitty to each other, and we're gonna put them in horrible situations that aren't even all that interesting. Which is number 5. It's not interesting. Like, it's just not. The things that they're trying to do, this whole political intrigue thing, is just an excuse to go like, oh, we don't like Jane, so we're gonna make her we're gonna turn her into a fascist. She was, like, her character progression was fairly interesting, but they were pulling her out from under being the Countess's next protege or some bullshit like that. The whole thing with John is literally just, we don't like John, get rid of him. And like, it's just, the whole situations is just flat out not interesting. That's just how it is. It's just boring. Which I guess kind of goes back to it not being fun. And I get a lot of this is subjective. These are my opinions. These are mine and my alone. But these are my issues with it and why I don't like the epilogues thus far. It really just feels like they're just going, let's just throw shit at the wall, because it really feels like we can write whatever we fucking want, and the Homestucks will eat it up because they can, because we can, and because they're so starved for content and they want to see more Homestuck stuff. That's really how it feels. It's like when a fucking TV show is supposed to be canceled, but the production company keeps it going because it's making them money, but it loses all sort of heart and soul behind it. That's what the epilogues are. Like, the biggest example I can think of, because I was a big Supernatural fan back in the day, Supernatural should have ended with season 5. And then season 6 and 7, I didn't watch 8 because 6 and 7 were fucking garbage. The Walking Dead also, boy, you're right. Fucking, I didn't even get to go through fucking the 7th season of The Walking Dead because we watched the first couple episodes. Was it season 7? I don't fucking remember now. But I just didn't give a shit about it. I mean, season 7 started off with a fantastic bang, but it was like, anything afterwards, it's just like, whatever. fine. The Supernatural is the worst one in my opinion because it was like this shit. Another one. I don't like Scrubs. I'm gonna get fucking called out for this. I'm not a big fan of Scrubs, but Scrubs should have ended with Scrubs instead of having season 8 because universally it sounds people fucking hated season 8 of Scrubs because it was supposed to end with 7. And guess what? Fucking whoever it was, Fox, ABC, NBC was like, no, it's making us money. Keep it going. And they produced garbage. That's what the epilogues are. It should have ended with Homestuck. It should have wrapped up. Woo, sorry, baby. I'm getting heated, so now Tulip's worried about me. Everything should have wrapped up. It could have left on some sort of cliffhanger, and that could have led into Homestuck 2 if we fucking wanted it to. Some sort of cliffhanger, something wanting more, but leaving it open for interpretation or what have you. But it should have ended because this is just a continuation of they want more content, so we're going to give it to them, and we can write whatever we fucking want because they'll eat it up. And they will consume our content, and we'll get those clicks, and we'll get that traffic. So there. That's my opinion on the epilogues thus far, and we're not even halfway done this bullshit. So we still have fucking candy to go through. But at least I've heard candy is a bit more fun. Meat's not. HS2 no better. That's what I was fucking afraid of. At least HS2 has something to look at. Like, I understand why they did this, just because it's easier and you don't have to worry about art going through and everything. You can drop basically all at once. But, no, Candy does not have pictures. But the epilogues have no art aside from these little icons. But at least Homestuck 2 has art to look at. So many fucking people have left the writing team. Like, I know Hussie's not working on it anymore. I think he left. I know Kate left a while ago. I saw some other people left. I don't remember now. And it's just like, at least there's something going on there that's semi-interesting. I actually have no idea. Like, I don't know a whole lot about Homestuck 2. I'm deliberately, like, I see art and I know some things, like the Omega Kids. Even then, I only know of a couple of them. But if it's getting better, at least that, and maybe they're, I don't know. I'm not even saying that I could do a better job. Like, when I'm bitching about this, I'm not even saying, like, I could do something better. The cursed one. I know about the cursed one, Don, but I also know about, I don't want to spoil anything. I know 2 of them. But I don't know. What was I? Oh yeah, I can't write better. I'm not saying I could do a better job at this. I'm fucking trash at writing. Whoa, excuse me. But it's just not good, man. It's a stupid name, Salsa. It really fucking is. Like, it's so fucking dumb. I did see this one art that was really sweet that someone interpreted if Dave, a slight spoiler, if Dave raised Yiffany and how awesome that relationship would have been. The new guys are doing at least that. It was so cute, wasn't it, Don? If you saw the art with Dave and Yiffy, it was so cute. It really just feels like they want to be as edgy as possible with it. It really just feels like they're like, oh man, we're gonna have like bad relationships. We're gonna have a shithead, preposterous villain, and we're gonna have the main character die, or we're gonna have him get bitten by a fucking monster, and we're gonna have these other versions of these kids get fucking disintegrated, and we're gonna have the fucking kid get raised in shitty situations. Like, it just feels super like, oh man, let's see how awful we can make it. Anyway. That's 2 hours. I'm fucking done. Pen, spoilers, please. Stupid fucking. Cause that's one that I saw. That is one I saw too. Fucking. Yeah, no, it's bad, boy. It's like, it's that level. It's fucking stupid. Anyway. All right. Okay. All right, I'm done. I hope you all enjoyed this. We're almost done with meat. We got 15 counting this page, more to go. Yeah, we've got about 15 more pages of meat, and then we got 41 of candy to go through. So we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. But anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out and watching me read through this garbage today. It's like, but this is how me gonna get through it. I'm gonna get excitable. I'm gonna drink coffee and I'm gonna feel like garbage afterwards. And then we're gonna fucking go through it. But yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And if you're watching on YouTube, because I forgot. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure you click the like button down below and subscribe to keep up with my stuff. New videos every Monday, or almost every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. They are my stream VODs. There's a link down to my Twitch channel in the description so you can get my schedule and whatnot. We are currently going through the Homestuck Epilogues, as you just saw today, and we are still going through the first Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, which is a bit, that's the same fucking thing. We're going through Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Almost over that one though. But those VODs always come up at 1 p.m. On Mondays and Wednesdays. I do take every fourth Sunday off because I spend the day with my wife. So every fourth Wednesday there is no video. That's what the schedule's for. Comment. What was your favorite part about all this? Was it the actual? I don't fucking know. This all sucked. Actually. Leave a comment on your thoughts. Are you mad at my fucking rant? Do you agree with my rant? There we go. Let's go with that. But share it with your friends if you really want them to suffer. Show them this as we finish the fucking Kanai Assassin was a good one. As we finish the epilogues, not even finished. We keep going through the epilogues. Anyway, I'm done talking. Thanks everyone for watching. If you're on YouTube, thanks for watching there as well. Thanks chat for hanging out today, and I hope to see you all next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and god damn it, have a good fucking Saturday. Hope to see you next time, everybody. I'm fucking done. Later. Damn it.